Around the world on the radio, Odyssey.com live stream. Go to Odyssey.com/ESPN Upstate, or just go to ESPN Upstate. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. We stream every show live there around the clock, so you don't miss a moment of the Rob Brown Show, of Offsides with Mark, Ryan, and Diesel. We are glad to have you along for the ride. And I did not know, I have to say, I have disappointed myself just a wee bit here, Lonzo, because I was unaware that today was ESPN The Ocho Day here in the great United States of America.
It's false advertising because they made it sound like it didn't start till midnight. That's why I didn't know it was on. I knew it was coming, but I thought it started at midnight tonight and I didn't know it was already on. So we've missed some quality programming already.
Even if it started at midnight, tomorrow's August 7th, 8/7, not 8/8. I, for whatever reason, had it in my head that Sunday was the Ocho Day. It's 8/8. So it'd be, the Ocho on 8/8. Nope, 8/6 is the day. So far, I have already watched the 2020 Tetris Championship. A bunch of young people who live in their mother's homes playing Tetris on the internet and making more money by winning that tournament than I'll make in salary this year.
So I don't understand, because I'm an OG at Tetris back in the day when it first came out. Did not realize that there were actually championships and competitions. I played the one where you that's side by side and beat everybody I knew at Tetris. By this time, I could be a master at it. I could be making all kinds of money. Didn't know that was a possibility.
Get back in the games, though. Maybe we'll see you on the Ocho next year.
I don't know. You lose dexterity when you get a little bit older. The hand-eye, not quite there.
I feel like Tetris is Tetris, dude. Like Tetris is Tetris. You it's like riding a bike. You'll suck for a couple of days, and then it'll all coming back to me now.
By the way, I have Tetris on a couple of different of my gaming systems.
Yeah, just get back into it,
including the new Tetris, which is on Game Pass, even though you don't like it. But it's on Game Pass.
No, I didn't say I didn't like Tetris. Okay. I said I suck at it. There's a difference. I don't have spatial
I also
organizational features.
I have Tetris in VR in PSVR. That is amazing because it's Tetris with distraction. So you've got things going on all around you and in your ear, and you're trying to focus on the Tetris, including, 1 minute you're under the ocean, the next minute you're on the moon, and, full on in your face while you're trying to pay attention. And the music, when the music drops, when the blocks drop, the music drops. So it's beats every time the blocks drop. It's a great experience.
As anyone who's ever been around me knows, I have zero organizational eye. Look at my desk, right? Zero organizational eye. So Tetris is just not for me. After Tetris, we now have on the 2021 Pogo Stick Championships.
No. It's Pogo Palooza.
Pogo, whatever you want to call it, but the Pogo Championships are now on. And
did not stick to dismount. So disappointing.
How many busted ankles am I about to watch?
I'm trying to figure out. They have 3 judges because we just saw some scores.
Yeah, they're scoring them. It's 50% style and 50% skill. So it's 50% nailing the tricks that you are trying, and 50% the tricks that you are trying being difficult, stylish, etc.
I just want to say stalling on a pogo is not nearly as hard as stalling on a skateboard.
I mean, this dude's like sliding down rails and stuff on a pogo stick.
Now that was pretty slick right there. And the extra points for the shirt. Shirt is rocking.
Okay, let's be real, Lonzo. If you are at this age competing internationally at Pogo Stick Championships, you're not showing up in a suit and tie for work, pal. Like, yes, I suspect hot pink tie-dye is going to be pretty stable in the pogoing community.
My biggest question about the Ocho and the sports on the Ocho, and I guess this would be considered an extreme sport, the pogo thing, because they're doing it on what essentially is a bike trick or a skateboard trick type of arena. Are there any of those things around here? Because we need to go. We don't necessarily have to participate. I just want to see it live. Does Greenville have an underground scene that we don't know about? Are there pogo out there? I don't know.
I got to tell you, I didn't know that Pogo championshipping was even a thing until literally today.
I just had a thought. Our boss Mark Hendricks disappears sometimes in the evening. He has to leave early, and he usually is dressed to go do something active.
You think he's involved in the underground pogoing championship community?
I think Mark Hendricks might actually be a pogo.
What do you call people who pogo? Pogoers?
Pogoers. I think he might be a pogoer.
Okay.
I think he might be.
Here's Connor to pogo.
Connor with a K. Connor Kellogg.
Yeah, of course it is. Next, we're gonna have.
I don't even know. They love alliteration in his family. It's awesome.
Let's start the show. I can't do all day pogo. Start the show. Let's go. Lunch breakdown of 3 things you have to know before you go start talking sports with your friends, your family, your coworker, or the dog, whoever you spend your lunch break with. These will be the items of scuttlebutt around the cooler today. Things you will need to know about. We start with item number 1. Allison Phoenix deserves, of course, Dalton is the next pogoer. Connor and Dalton. Gunner and Ryder are up next, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, that's a young Weird Al right there.
He's a pogo stick artist. Of course he is. They all are. Allison Phoenix is now a 10-time Olympic medalist. 35 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, took home the bronze in the women's 400 meters on Friday at a season best 49.46 seconds. Defending Olympic champion Shawnee Miller-Waibo of the Bahamas was the gold medalist in a personal all-time best 48.36. Mary Lady Paulino of the Dominican checked in at 49.2, also a personal best. So it took 2 of the best runners in the world having their personal best all-time record to beat Allison Phoenix. But she takes home her 10th medal. The Grand Dame of track and field qualified for her 5th Olympics in June, finished 2nd in the event at U.S. time trials. Her times continued to get better and better as she ran. She has netted all kinds of medals throughout her career and ends up getting 1 more before she heads home. Allison Phoenix, born November 18th, 1985, at 35 years of age, has now got more medals than any other female track and field star in the United States. She is absolutely a legend, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute legend. At the Olympic Games in 2004, she took home a silver medal in the 200-meter dash. In the Olympic Games of 2008 in Beijing, a silver in the 200-meter and a gold in the 4x400-meter relay. In the Olympics of 2012 at the London Games, she would take home a gold in the 200-meter, a gold in the 4x100-meter relay, with an Olympic record and world record in that race, and a gold in the 4x400-meter relay. In the Olympic Games in Rio, she would take home 3 more medals, 2nd in the 400-meter dash, 1st in both relays again. And in these Olympics, she would score 1 final medal, a 3rd-place bronze finish in the 400-meter dash for Allison Phoenix last night. What an absolute legend, ladies and gentlemen. Give that young lady a parade when she gets back. She deserves it. Speaking of young ladies who deserve a parade, well, the U.S. women's basketball team is 1 step closer to getting a parade of their own. They steamroll Serbia last night, 79-59 victory over the Serbians, and they are now on to the gold medal game, joining the U.S. men's national basketball team, who take on France in the gold medal game tomorrow I love you tomorrow. Brittany Griner had been shooting 69% from the field, and Japan finished with 15 and 12. Aja Wilson from South Carolina, Brianna Stewart were both having big games as well. By the fourth quarter, the Serbians had had enough, opting to just foul Brittany Griner when she got the ball inside. Serbia forward Dragana Stankovic, which is a great name, by the way. Dragana Stankovic. It's a great name.
Sure it's not Stankovic?
Yeah, I'm going to go Stankovic.
Okay.
Because I don't feel right calling this young lady Stankovic.
Oh, okay, I just,
Dragana Stankovic. It's a great name.
I'm just curious if there was a meeting about how to pronounce that properly.
Sometimes you just see a name that you're like, nope. Doesn't happen often, but nope. Anyway.
Come on. We're the show for your boys.
Stankovic.
It's Stankovic.
Stankovic slapped the crap out of Griner's arms late in the game. Griner just shook her
she
head,
slapped
smiled.
the stank out of her?
Slapped the Stankovic right out of her. Griner went to the line, knocked down some free throws, and it was all downhill. Dawn Staley said, we do emphasize getting Brittany the ball. She's in great shape, and she wants the ball. She's very competitive and wants to do well, and when all those things are lining up, you play your best basketball, and she's playing her best Olympic basketball. The Americans will now face Japan, the home nation, which defeated France 87-71 to advance to the gold medal game for the first time in the country's history. The U.S. made 10 baskets in the paint in the first half alone, 18 for the game, and then looked to run after getting stops for easy baskets. Stewart had been up and down the floor, had a huge speed advantage on the Serbians, and ran the floor every chance she got. 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists for the double-double, with 3 helpers to go along. Stewart said, quote, this is exactly where we want to be. So now everything is on the line. Right now, there is so much pressure going for 7 straight golds that you kind of get lost in what's actually happening and not enjoying being at the Olympics. And I think we did that. We came out and we had fun. End quote. The only downside of the win, Diana Taurasi limped off the court in the third quarter with a hip injury and did not return. She said afterward that the injury was something she was already dealing with and managing, and that she would be ready for Sunday's game. Item number 3 in the lunch breakdown, a couple of gold medals for the Americans last night. The U.S. women's beach volleyball team would end up winning gold as well. The women went up against the Aussies, Oys, and took home the gold last night. Alex Klinneman and April Ross have taken the gold, handily defeating Australia in the final match. It was 2-0, and frankly, while there were some tense moments in the second match, the Americans led 9-3 at one point. They allowed the Australians to climb back to within 4 points, but then it was all downhill. After that, April Ross has a silver medal from the 2012 London Games, a bronze from 2016, and now at 39 years of age, she completes the full medal set by taking home the gold. Klinneman and Ross hugged between points as they racked up straight set wins against Taliqua Clancy and Mariaf Artacho del Salar, 21-15, 21-16 for the win. And speaking of gold, how about Gable Stevenson, who is your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler at this point? Last night, the dude was going up for a gold when Triple H sent him a shout out. Nature Boy Ric Flair sent him a shout out. Who's his training partner at the University of Minnesota, Lonzo?
Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar has been training with Gable Stevenson. And last night, Gable Stevenson, who one of his last posts before going to the Olympics was alongside Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, as a matter of fact, before taking off.
Acknowledge him.
I will. He won gold medal. Of course. Of course, Gable gets gold medal acknowledgement. He was in a spot last night, an absolute spot last night. Gable Stevenson. And Lonzo, I'm honestly a little shocked. Did you watch this by chance?
I did not.
Okay.
Because I didn't know it was on. If
Okay.
I did, I Oh, you know what, Rob? I was watching football last night.
That's the correct answer.
Yes.
If you weren't watching heavyweight Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling, watching football was the correct option for not.
If I knew that was on, I would have watched wrestling and watched football this morning.
I should have texted you.
Yeah.
I should have texted you. In fairness, it was like bleep you o'clock in the morning, so I don't think it would have mattered all that much. Anyway, 10 seconds remaining in the heavyweight match. Gable Stevenson trailed with 10 seconds remaining. He was going up against Georgia's Gino Petrashvili. 8-5 with time running out. The 21-year-old American ran across the mat, got a spin behind takedown with 10 seconds remaining, then did it again with less than a second remaining to take the lead and win the heavyweight 125 kilo class 10-8. Steven held up 2 fingers for 2 points after the move and said after the match he couldn't believe it happened. He said, I looked at the clock and it was like 0.3 and I was like, ain't no way. And in my head, I just like flushed with everything and I was like, wow.
All right. When I was switching
I
switching studios, I saw the highlight. So, and if he's who I think he is, he did a backflip afterwards.
He did.
And that's
his thing.
It was a beautiful backflip. And all I could think of, okay, UFC or WWE or AEW, where's he going? The fact that he's getting all this love from wrestling now.
By the way, he has already been in the crowd at an NXT event, getting love from Steph McMahon and company. By the way, 125 kilograms, 275 freedom units, for those of you who keep track of that. He is a heavyweight, knocking out backflips for dubs. Here's my favorite part. He's already ready to be the bad guy. They asked him after the event, how do you feel? And he said, I put on a good show. People are going to remember the name Gable Stevenson. My dude's already got his catchphrase laid out for him. Outscored his opponents 23-0 in the first 3 rounds. Dominated the 2016 Olympic gold medalist Taha Agul 8-0 in the quarterfinals. Things got a little tougher in the final. Petrashvili, the number 1 seed, 3-time world champion and Olympic bronze medalist in 2016. Stevenson led 5-2 before Petrashvili scored on a single leg takedown and 2 gut wrenches to go up 8-5 with the pressure on. Stevenson came up with a plan to get the points he needed. He was, of course, named for American Dan Gable, the 1972 Olympic gold medalist and longtime college coach. Stevenson knew what he was going to do, and he learned it from that guy. Got the double gut wrench takedown and a $250,000 prize for winning the gold medal as a heavyweight. They said, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm probably going to take my family out to eat. We all got to eat steaks back home, probably buy my mom a Louis Vuitton purse. She deserves it. End quote. Went right back to mama. That's the correct decision.
All right,
mama gets the glory.
Here's the thing, though. Otis should be worried because Gable and Gable, I mean, there you go. And it's the second coming of the best tag team in the world. It's going to happen. It's already written in stone.
In stone, says Lonzo. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, the first of 3 installments of a game that we are going to play that Lonzo didn't know we were going to play today. We are going to play Pick the Sport that was once actually for real, seriously, an Olympic event. I'm going to give you 3 sports.
Is that the title of the?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
I couldn't come up with anything more succinct.
All right.
Pick the game that was actually once seriously for real in Olympic sport. I'm going to give you 3 ridiculous sports. One of them was actually Olympic sport in the past. You're going to see if you can guess which one it is. That's coming up next on The Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
QC Connects.
Our friends at QC Kinetics are here for you, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to be able to live your life pain-free. They want you to be able to live your life without suffering, without fear of that chronic joint pain popping up and biting you at the worst opportune times. You want to be able to pick up your grandkids, right? And not have to worry about your hips and lower back hurting the next day. You want to be able to play golf with the boys and not have to worry the next day because you know that your knees and your elbows are going to just be swimming in pain, right? Well, that's why you need to go to QCkinetics.com, QCkinetics.com. Learn all about their non-surgical regenerative therapies right there on the website and find out how they can help you, and they will. And you don't have to get cut open. No drugs, no surgery. You get the rehab right there in the clinic, and then that's it. You're done. You go home, you go back to your day-to-day life. QCkinetics.com, QCkinetics.com, or give them a call at 864-448-3772, 864-448-3772. Mention the Rob Brown Show. Get that first consultation for free and learn how you can feel better, faster, and naturally with our friends at QC Kinetics.
All right, Deets, you're not impressing me at all.
Yeah, Orange Guys is not I don't feel like he's in the top 3 right now.
The tricks are not creative. He's already bailed once.
Can't stick the backflip. Hey, we can't all be gold winners. Chad with 2 Ds.
You're too old, Deets. Go home.
Tony with an E. Connor, Dalton, Chad with 2 Ds. All we need is a Mark with a C to complete the white guy ultimate name list.
No comment.
I go by Rob, so should say no comment.
I've met my quota for this week. I'm done.
See, this is why I have to run things by Keegan before I come up with them on the
Well,
air.
if you would have told me, I would have gotten some faux Olympic music.
In fairness, I put this entire game together 10 minutes before we came on the air.
Okay.
So it was like, come up with a great name or actually have a list of sports that might confuse you.
Reminds me, I need that.
I don't know if I trust myself to even jump on a pogo stick anymore, to tell you the truth.
I've never jumped on one before. So.
Oh, I used to love pogo sticks.
I know how this is going to sound, but not too many poor folks on pogo sticks. You know.
I thought pogo sticks were like an everybody tool, man. Everybody got.
How much
pogo
do you
sticks.
think those pogo sticks cost?
Well, I'm not talking about those pogo sticks. Just pogo sticks in general.
I've only seen them on cartoons and stuff. Dude, just quit.
Keegan, one day I'll actually be able to pay you for your services to the Rob Brown Show. But I also work in radio, so today is not that day.
I would say you pay Keegan every time you say his name. His name is being said, you know, on the internet and all across the Southland. Oh, there we go. That dude's got the hair for it. And he's shirtless. Because, you know, he was on the last thing they showed.
Bro, you know every one of these dudes is competing high off their skulls.
Yeah, he thinks he's a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They showed him without a shirt on, the tattoos, everything. It's Anthony Cleaty's son. Ah, he's competing shirtless today. Way to go. He's already been more invented than the last dude. Oh, look at that. Dude is rocking. One hand in it.
He's getting some height. All right, let's have a little fun on the show. I put together a little game that we're going to play. Lonzo is going to act as the voice of the people here in this one. He didn't know he was going to do this coming in.
What do you mean act as? I am the voice of the
Lonzo
people.
is going to once again be the voice of the people in this. I, Lonzo, am going to give you 3 sports. One of them was actually an Olympic competition at some point in history in the modern Olympics. So dating back to like the late 1800s, okay? So sometime in the modern Olympic era, one of the 3 sports on this list was actually an Olympic sport. Your job's to pick out which one it was. All right? Here we go. Lonzo, your first 3 sports. One of these was an actual Olympic event. Was it A, ballroom dancing, B, solo synchronized swimming like we know it, but by yourself, or C, synchronized team jogging? Which one of those 3 events was actually an Olympic sport?
Ballroom dancing.
That is incorrect. Synchronized solo swimming was an actual Olympic event. Dancing in water,
all right,
but by yourself. That took place in 1984.
How can it be synchronized? I mean, synchronized means you're synchronizing with someone else. What are they synchronizing to?
I concur. That's why this game is about the ridiculous sports.
Okay.
It's a dumb one.
I see how this goes.
Correct. All right. So now you got a little feel for the game. In 84, 88, and 92, this was the fact. All right, here we go. Next group of games. One of these was an actual legitimate Olympic sport. Lonzo, was it A, long and high jumps for horses, B, long and high jumps for dogs, or C, synchronized dancing for cats? One of those 3 was actually in the Olympics. What was it?
A.
You are correct. Long and high jumping for horses was an actual Olympic event back in 1900 in Paris. And I'm going to tell you that Paris in the 1900s, a lot of these sports came from Paris in the 1900s. The horses would actually do a long jump and a high jump, be scored on the whole thing, and that somehow was an Olympic sport. By the way,
was there a refusal in that one? I'm just curious. As we saw with equestrian.
Great question. Can I also say that I think it's absolute crap that the jockeys get the gold medals? These horses should get big horse medals, and they should be allowed to wear them for the rest of their horse lives when they go back and hang with the other horses. Because what does a jockey actually do?
So you're saying a gold medal when you go back to stud would be attractive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you would think so.
All right.
You would think so. All right. Third group of games. Here we go, Lonzo. Which one of these was an actual Olympic event? Was it A, diving for depth, as in you dive and whoever can go the deepest wins the gold? B, holding your breath for the longest time underwater? Or C, diving and swimming as many times as you can back and forth across the pool for distance without coming back up for air? Which one was an actual Olympic sport?
All right. I hope it's B. I'm going to go with C, though.
You're going to go with diving for distance before surfacing.
No, it's the one where you swim around.
Yeah, so you would dive and you would swim for distance before you came back up for air.
Yeah.
That is correct. That actually is the sport, which is interesting because I think this is the one thing that all of us who have ever been to a pool have done, both as children and adults. You would dive, you would go as far as you can back and forth across the pool, as far as you can before you came back up for a breath. That was an Olympic sport at the 1904 games in St. Louis. Competitors had to dive in a pool and see how far they could go underwater until they surfaced, some up to a minute later. All 5 contestants were from America. Americans won in the Olympics in America, where America set the events. Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. All right, Lonzo. Let's do one more, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back to some more of these later on in the show. Number 4. Which one of these A, 1,000 meter backwards running. B, 3,000 meter steeplechase. You know what a steeplechase is?
Yes.
All right, except for this was for people, not horses.
Yeah.
Okay. Or C, 100 meter competitive walking, which was an actual Olympic sport.
I think it's C, but I'm going to go with B.
The 3,000 meter steeplechase?
Yes.
That is actually correct. The steeplechase for people, the people chase, was an Olympic event way back, Lonzo, in 2016 at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics.
I was going to say, because it sounds like I in my memory somewhere, I feel like I actually watched that.
So steeplechase is a 3,000 meter long race where there are hurdles.
Hey, Rob, how many meters is 3,000 meters?
3,000
How many
meters
miles?
is
How many yards?
Like 1,000? Like it's going to be ballpark 1,000.
Okay.
Let's go 3,000 meters to yards. No, I lied. It's 3,280. I'm bad at this. We should switch to metric. 3,280.84 yards. And the course has about 3 meters is 1 yard. That's what I think is correct. Right? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
As always, throw in the math, and there's a problem.
I'm out. I know. I would have been a scientist as a haughty intellectual. I'd have been a scientist, but math is hard, so I didn't. So in this event, it's a 3,000 meter race, but there are obstacles, including hurdles, bars, and sometimes when you jump over the hurdle, there's like a big pool of water on the other side, and you land in the water, and you have to run through water. Running through water, obviously, one of those athletic skills we all strive to achieve throughout our long, long lives.
All right, really quick. 3,000 meters converted to miles is 1.864 miles.
That's what it is. 3 meters, 3 feet to a meter? I don't know.
It was more. It sounded like it was at least a mile, and that's what I wanted to know. So it's almost 2 miles.
Okay, that's what it was. It's feet to a meter, not yards. That's what I did wrong. 1 meter is 3.28 feet. Is 1 meter. So that's where I did it wrong because I am the dumb. All right, we'll come back. We'll do later.
Doesn't that sound like a military obstacle course that you see in a movie, or that probably actually is military? I wonder how long those obstacle courses are, because that's what it sounds like.
It really does. It's what it looks like too.
Or like a Ninja Warrior or something.
Yeah, basically is, but without like all the cool stuff, like the wall climb and all that. None of the cool stuff.
No warp wall.
No pyro. None of that. All right, let's take a break. When we come back in a minute, tomorrow, gold medal match for the men's Olympic basketball team. They take on France one more time again. We're going to talk about that game, break it down, give you a prediction when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
So I've only missed one so far. Let me point that out. I missed the ballroom dance.
Yes.
Dude, if you would have pulled that off, that would have been amazing. Oh. Oh no, they're just showing a bunch of guys bailing.
Yeah.
None of it's as bad as,
That guy just jump and change pogos off another guy's face.
Why, yes, he did, Rob.
Wow.
So you're holding something over your head.
Yeah, you need to take that with you, buddy. All right, that one would have been cool if he stuck it.
But I'm comparing it to skateboard bails or bicycle bails, and it's just not the same. I mean, it probably hurts a little bit, but not as bad as that stuff does. No! Oh.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, I
got a little longer. This
goes
on
purpose.
Oh.
What the heck is that? All right, I'm going to answer Steven. I don't think Rob ever watches this version of Suicide Squad. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with never.
I'm watching it tonight. Like literally tonight. I'm going to the baseball game with a lady friend and some friends, and then she's going home, and I'm going to watch Suicide Squad. I need you to know I'm actually excited about this.
In the theater?
At home, HBO Max.
Okay. Good job. You're already paying for it. Why not?
I'm actually excited about this. I'm excited for multiple reasons. One, I'm excited to see Cena's character.
Yeah,
I heard he's hilarious.
I've already seen what I seen.
A couple of clips.
I saw the Red Band trailer, and
Yeah.
it's he's going to be. I'm going to have to tell my wife. Are you sure you want to watch this?
Yeah. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Thanks for hanging out. Rob, Lonzo, you. Steven says, what's the over-under on how long it takes Rob to see Suicide Squad? I say 14 days from release. Now, it'll be tonight. You'll have a breakdown on Monday. Don't worry. I mean, you won't because it won't be within the spoiler.
I was going to say, that won't be within.
Lonzo and I will have a discussion about it before Monday.
Yeah.
But not on air.
By the way, because we love cross promotion, I will be reviewing and breaking it down tomorrow night on the Upstate Pulse, 7 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Upstate Pulse, 7 to 9 p.m. on WORD. Lonzo is your host. Show contributor Cameron going to be there talking about it as well. Maybe?
Probably. Yes, probably. So if
you may have like a 15-minute Rob Brown pop in.
Ooh, because you're always welcome to do so.
Yeah, I may just show up.
That's fine.
The only radio show, ladies and gentlemen, that I can just push like connect and I'm on the air. Pretty sweet. I can't even do that on this show. So anyway, tomorrow, Team USA takes on Team France in the gold medal game. And yes, I am very, very excited about it. No, I lied to you. It's actually it's tomorrow in Japan. It's today here, but tomorrow. Anyway, 10:30 tonight. Team USA basketball. 4-1 are the U.S. The French undefeated at 5-0. The U.S. defeated previously unbeaten Australia 97-78 in Wednesday's first semifinal. France improved to 5-0 after slipping by Luka Doncic and Slovenia 90-89. 83-76 was the scoreline for France knocking off the U.S. in game number 1. Climbing back from a 6-point deficit heading into the fourth quarter, the U.S. led 74-67 with 3:41 remaining, but the three-time defending Olympic gold medalist could not hold on. Nicolas Batum, Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert for the French, inspiring a late French comeback. 3 Team U.S. members, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton, arrived in Tokyo early the morning on the 25th to join the U.S. after the NBA Finals. Holiday, probably the only player in that game that actually had an impact in the fourth quarter. 12 of his 18 came during a fourth quarter burst that helped U.S. to take back the lead. Evan Fournier, 28 points for France. Rudy Gobert tallied 14 and 9 boards. Popovich said at that point the French team played very consistent basketball and did a great job, and that the Americans needed to be more consistent. Well, frankly, since then, they absolutely have. After the loss to France snapped a 25-game Olympic win streak for the U.S. men, they are trying to start another one since dropping the opener to France. The U.S. has been, for the most part, steamrolling everybody they've come up against. They have won 4 straight, defeated Iran by 54, the Czech Republic by 35, Spain by 14, and Australia by 19. The U.S. is also averaging 101.4 a game and has held opponents to just 78.4 per game. So they are averaging winning by 27-ish points a game, 28 points a game at this point. Granted, the Iran win of 54 kind of helped that, but again, 35 over the Czech Republic as well. In its 5 games in Tokyo so far. The U.S.'s scoring attack paced by Kevin Durant, averaging 19 a game. Jason Tatum averaging 14.5 a game. Drew Holiday, 12 a game. Dame Lillard, 11.2 a game. D-Book, 10.6. Zach LaVine, 10.6. Bam Adebayo grabbing 5.5 boards a game. Durant, 5.2. Holiday leading the team in assists with 4.4 a game. LaVine averaging 4 assists per game as well. France, on the other hand, not bad. They're actually averaging 16 fewer points per game than the Americans at 86, so I guess 14 points fewer, limiting to their foes to 75.8 points a game. So here's the thing. France got the United States in game number 1, but since then, against, and transitive property of sports, we talk about this in college football every year, right? Transitive property of college football, and that A beat B, B beat C, C beat D, so theoretically D could be A, but we don't really use the transitive property of sports, except for when we do because it makes us look good, all right? Transitive property of sports here, the French beat the Americans, but against 3 other opponents in round-robin play, 3 common opponents, the U.S., Lonzo, have been beating those teams worse, have been scoring more points against, and allowing fewer points by every other common opponent in this pool that the French have played. The only one that didn't come up that way was the L to the French. I think we can go back at this point. I had an article up on ESPNUpstate.com that asked, what's wrong with Team USA basketball? That was after losing 2 exhibition games and dropping the ball to France in the opening game. And the best I could come up with, Lonzo, is they just did not have time to gel as and become a team to play team basketball. At that point, it wasn't so much that the Americans are used to just rolling out the best 5 guys in the world at basketball and having everybody else lay down. Problem was, those guys did not have any opportunity to actually find out how to play together. Chris, Drew, and D-Book all showed up in Tokyo the day of the first game and were expected to go in there as starters and make a difference. Now, Lonzo, a week and a half later, all of a sudden, Team USA basketball actually looks like a team, actually looks like a squad. I got to think they're favorites coming into the game against France, unless they believe that, because France is still a good damn team.
Do you not believe that the loss to them is also motivation and the embarrassment and all the publicity that they got from that?
Oh, absolutely do.
And maybe they weren't taking that for aside from the chemistry thing, which I completely agree with. It's definitely has to be part of it, but maybe they weren't taking it seriously because it didn't really mean that much.
I don't think they weren't taking it seriously because it doesn't mean that much. I 100% chalk that L. Look, Fournier and Batum and Rudy Gobert, that's an A+ trio, right? Like if we were playing NBA 2K back in the day, if we were playing, or NBA Jam TE back in the day, and you had a squad that was made up of Batum, Fournier, and Gobert, that'd be a 93, 94 overall rating on NBA Jam TE. All right, that's a damn fine trio of players. That being said, I can put together just as good of a trio from a handful of trios on Team USA. I think that France comes into this game knowing if they can knock off the Americans for the second time and win gold, that they effectively have a legacy together that lives on forever, right? This is it for France. This is the best they can do. These Team USA players, if they win, it's expected. There's no extra pomp and circumstance. You're expected to win if you're Team USA. If you lose, however, you go down with the 04 squad as an embarrassing team, and everybody on that team has shame because of it, right? Whether that's fair or not, that's the way the basketball world works. So, yeah, I absolutely believe that there's motivation by the French to get their name put up in lights in Paris forever. But I believe there's motivation on Team USA to not take a second L and have their names hung in the wall of shame with the 0-4 team. There's absolutely motivation there. Is that enough to win or lose a basketball game on its own?
It just depends on if Kevin Durant comes out and plays like he's been playing. If he does, they'll win. If he doesn't, then they won't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. KD's been lights out. By the way, speaking of KD, how about this? Listen to KD's Olympic career, all right? This is Olympic career. Games played, 21. He's fourth of all time. Points scored, 406th Olympic points, averaging 19.3 a game. That is first all time in Olympic basketball. 112 rebounds, third all time in Olympic basketball. Most field goals made, 137, first. Most field goals attempted, 258, second. Most three-pointers made, 71, first. Most three-pointers attempted, 139, first. Three-point field goal percentage, 51.1%. He's actually seventh on that list. That's his lowest mark, by the way. Most free throws made, 61, first. Most free throws attempted, 71, tied for first. Most assists. We all think of KD kind of a selfish player. Most assists, 68, he's fourth. Most block shots, 15, third all time in the Olympics for block shots. And 27 steals, tied for ninth all time. You don't have to like him, Lonzo. Kevin Durant is the best American basketball player in the Olympics only of all time, and the record books show it.
Statistic-wise, yes.
Statistics-wise, exactly. Exactly. So, France versus the U.S., that one's going to be tonight at 10:30 at night. Your boy will absolutely be watching. Follow along with me on Twitter at The Rob Brown Show, at The Rob Brown Show on Twitter. I'll be live tweeting that game tonight. We'll pop in over on Facebook as well. When we come back here in just a minute, we'll wrap up hour number one. We got a little bit of breaking news coming out of 24/7 Sports that Lonzo just sent to me. We will open up the next hour with that, plus another round of Olympic sport for real. Seriously or just kidding? I forgot what I actually named the game. It's been a while. Back after this to wrap up hour one on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate.
actually rollerbladed before.
You've never rollerblade? How did you go through the 90s and never rollerblade? You never went to a skating
because I was
rink in your life?
30. No, roller skates with the 4, not the blades.
Yeah, you've never rollerbladed.
No.
Right. You went through the 90s and never rollerbladed.
I grew up on roller skates, started roller skating when I was 3.
Has anybody in the chat online never rollerbladed?
But
Like,
I've
Lonzo's alone in that.
You
right?
can roller skate and not roller blade.
Right, I'm saying.
I think it has to do with age, probably.
Oh.
Roller blading came along after I should have been beyond skating. I think there's an age where you just stop, unless you're that one older dude that can like groove skate like nobody's business, and that's just all he does. What I was going to say is rollerblading probably not that much harder than regular roller skating. I can ice skate. I'm guessing rollerblading would probably hurt my feet a little bit more than regular ones.
Rollerblading is easier for turns and cutting and doing fun things. Roller skating's just kind of groovy. Rollerblading's for athletes.
Okay.
Your ad really touched my heart. I'd like to buy the couch.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I saw that
for transitioning.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Even if it's a joke.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get the joke. So I think it's spam. Hacking, something.
So I'm not going to pretend to be a big track and field guy, right? Like I watch track and field once every 4 years. Maybe some event will jump in every couple of years, like a world championship. And I happen to see it when I'm passing by. And I'm like, they're like, by the way, this guy running this 100-meter dash is a number one contender for the lead runner in Team USA in the Olympics 2 years from now. I'm like, all right, let me get familiar with him now, right? That's pretty much the extent of track and field for me.
I thought you meant that you didn't know what each individual events were or something. You're just talking about the athletes themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like I effectively watch track and field once every 4 years. I know, 100-meter dash is the fastest man. We are absolutely atrocious right now at the 4x100 meter relay, which we used to own and dominate. But I watch track and field like once every 4 years at the Olympics. Every now and then I'll come across a world championship where they're like, this is the next guy, right? This is our next great 100-meter runner, and I'll tune in to watch that guy. Here's a fun thing. Lonzo, today in Tokyo, the last day of the major track and field events, the running events, right? The races. Since 1986, an American man has won gold in an individual running event at least once at every Olympics in which the U.S. has participated since 1896. The only exception is the 1980 Moscow Games, which we, of course, boycotted, right?
By the way, I graduated from high school in 1986.
That's a long time ago, Lonzo.
It was a really long time ago.
I was 1 year old in 1986. You're welcome. So, an American man has won gold in an individual running event at least once every Olympics the U.S. has participated in since 1896, with the exception of the 1980 Moscow Games, which we didn't compete in. That streak may be over. 9 of 10 men's individual running events are already complete. The Americans have not won a gold in any of them. We have 4 second-place finishes and a pair of thirds. The only one we have left, the only one is tomorrow's 1,500-meter final. We have one runner left in that race, and the 1,500-meter is, obviously a distance event, which we don't win. So this may be the first Olympics ever that we do not win a solo men's race at track and field. I got to tell you, probably time to make some changes there, USA. That ain't going to get it. Not going to get it. Texter says that we talked about Gable Stevenson. We literally opened the show with Gable Stevenson. But we will again because it's awesome. 2 hours left. Back after this on The Rob Brown Show. And ESPN Upstate. On the clock.
Automotivemap.com presents your ESPN Upstate Sports Center updates powered by The Score. A comeback win in a series sweep for the Atlanta Braves. Austin Riley hitting a home run. Adrian Adrianza drives in the go-ahead run with the first of 4 straight bases-loaded walks as the Braves score 6 times in the 8th inning and defeat the Cardinals by an 8-4 score. Braves getting closer and closer in the National League East, now just a game and a half back of the first-place Mets and 1 game back of the second-place Phillies. Up next, the Braves, a weekend series against the Washington Nationals. All right, let's matchup in the let's do one more, and then we'll take a break to come back to 2 more of these later. All right, betting starts. Number 4, download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing.
That's weird.
The Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. With your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update, I'm Matt Pauley. James Goski, so you're a Georgia guy originally. When you go out around South Carolina, it's going to be a weird question, but I need you to stick with me here. You go to a restaurant, you order a hot dog. What do you expect to come on that hot dog? What do you expect when you just say, I want a hot dog? What do you expect to come on? Ketchup and mustard. Thank you. So I've been told that in the upstate of South Carolina, the default hot dog is chili, onions, mustard. That's the default. That's what you get if you don't ask for anything. Where are you from? I'm from Florida. Okay, so it ain't no way. We're out the loop, man. They not only tell me, but I promise you, I want to get this after this going, Rob. That's what a hot dog. That's a chili dog, right? The chili dog. Thank you. That's why it's called chili dog. Thank you, bro. It's a chili dog.
Giant log lifting up next on the Ocho. Hey, nephew Lou. Miss you, buddy. See you in Florida soon, I hope, man.
Dude right there is Burley. So is that guy. He's getting a lot of hugs. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Log throwers, also huggers. All right, dude, that's a long embrace. I hope that's your brother or dad or something. I just does.
Struggling on the track and field, Keegan says it's because we've not put out a banger of a song like Chariots of Fire lately. He might be right. Is there another song synonymous with track and field quite like Chariots of Fire? Lonzo, you know Chariots of Fire, right? Is it has
yes, it's in my head.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, have we gone so far away from track and field success that people don't know who what Chariots of Fire is anymore?
I think there are a lot of people who have no idea what Chariots of Fire is. Yes.
Do 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 do. You know it. Bum 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 bum.
At the risk of Rob getting mad at me, you just did karaoke.
Bum 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 bum. That's not karaoke. That's you can't do karaoke without words. That's beatboxing.
Okay.
Without a beat or a box.
Yeah, and then the music is playing while they're running on the beach and they're all dying. But I mean, it depends on which part you're thinking of the movie. The only other song I can think of, and I can't remember the name of it, is the song that's playing when Rocky and Apollo are running on the beach. But
gotta have a montage. Rocky and Apollo montage song.
I think it's probably a Frank Stallone song. Probably
Frank Stallone.
Frank Stallone had a couple decent
What
songs.
song did Rocky and Apollo crew run to on the beach? It's called "Gonna Fly Now."
Oh no, that's
the
a
lead
Rocky
song.
thing.
Yeah,
That's a Rocky.
that's
thing.
not right.
No, it's not. It's a Frank Stallone song.
All right,
I'm telling you.
your job is to find the answer for that. Burning Heart. Is that it?
Hearts on Fire.
If it's Burning Heart, it's by Survivor, the same people who did Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. It probably is. It may be.
We learned something new today. If that's true. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's accurate. All right. 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us at 71307 on the Ingles Market text line. 71307 is the way to go to Texas. If you want to go in that direction, you can tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at ESPN Upstate, and at Lonzo and Word. All the different Twitter handles. Breaking news. Is this breaking news? Yeah. We're going to call it breaking news. It's good enough. Breaking news brought to you by our friends at BetQL. If you want to be a better, then get BetQL and go to BetQL.com to be a better and beat the books with our friends at BetQL. I guess a day and a half ago or so this broke. So this is coming from 24/7 Sports. Is it 24/7 or 247? I've always thought it was 24/7, but I've realized that even in their official title, there's no dash or dot between the 4 and the 7, so it's just 2, 4, and 7. Is it 247 Sports?
Every time I've heard a radio announcer introduce someone from that particular place, they say 24/7.
That's what I would think, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
If it were wrong, you would have been corrected by now.
Fair enough.
Because our people want accuracy.
Our top men. It has been made clear that Texas and Oklahoma are now to the SEC. We just don't know when. Well, Dexter says, I'm not sure if 24 hours later is breaking news. Yeah, I know, but we got to get our sponsor some love. That's BetQL sponsors us. BetQL gets some reads on the show. That's what it comes down to. Texter. It is clear that the decision made by Texas and Oklahoma, this is from 24/7 Sports, by the way. I am quoting them here. This is by Clint Buckley of 247/247. It is clear that the decision made by both Texas and Oklahoma to leave the Big 12 in favor of the SEC has ruffled more than just a few feathers. Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby has certainly not taken the news lying down, threatening legal action towards ESPN, which he believes is attempting to dissolve the league by matching the remaining 8 schools with other conferences. Earlier this week, numerous Texas state legislators went on the offensive, unhappy with how the Longhorns in particular handled the matter. Now, it appears the federal government may soon enter the fray regarding the Big 12 and future conference realignment. U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, a Republican from Kansas, has drafted a letter to the U.S. Attorney General asking for the Department of Justice to launch a formal investigation into ESPN, that according to the Wichita Eagle. Marshall wrote, according to a copy of the letter obtained by the Eagle, quote, I write today to ask the DOJ to investigate ESPN's role in the potential destruction of the Big 12 Conference and if any anti-competitive or illegal behavior occurred relating to manipulating the conference change or ESPN's contractual television rights, end quote. Last week, we know Bowlesby sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN, according to Yahoo Sports' Pete Thamel. In a letter, Bowlesby accused the cable network of, quote, illegally contacting the remaining 8 programs in the Big 12 in an effort to match them with new conferences in the event the Big 12 collapses. There was also a report, though this has actively now been denied, that the American Athletic Conference is also trying to grab additional Big 12 teams, according to Bowlesby. The conference currently has 11 teams playing in their division. Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports said that in his conversation with Bob Bowlesby was certain that ESPN was spurring that on. So what Bowlesby believes is happening is that ESPN went to the American Athletic Conference and said, hey, look, the Big 12 is on the ropes. There are 8 teams remaining in the Big 12. These 8 schools need somewhere to play football. You are open. You are geographically relevant. You are right there in the mix. Why don't you make a play for them and see what happens? See if that plays out, if that can happen. The AAC has since denied that and said that that is not the case. Dodd wrote in his article, quote, the Big 12 is concerned the American Athletic Conference is actively attempting to assume all 8 remaining league members once Texas and Oklahoma are formally accepted into the SEC. League sources tell CBS Sports. This comes as Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby told CBS Sports that ESPN is leading an attempt to restructure college sports. Bowlesby told CBS Sports, quote, I'm absolutely certain ESPN was involved with it, trying to poach our members, end quote. So, kind of where does this lead us all? Where does this leave us all? Here's where we go. If this senator, by the way, U.S. senator, it's not a state senator. This is Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., big dog senator. If Roger Marshall, this senator from Kansas, is able to get the Justice Department directly involved, and if it tracks back to ESPN, that ESPN was actively involved in communique between the Big 12, between Texas, Oklahoma, and the SEC, and the AAC and the rest of the schools in the Big 12, I would be very, very interested, because I'd want to know what illegality took place, right? Like, what did ESPN do that crossed lines of legality here? Is there a rule? Is there a law in place that would have said that ESPN is not allowed to act in their best interest? Is there a law that said the University of Texas and Oklahoma are not allowed to act in their best interest? Nobody's breaking any contracts. If anybody was breaking any contracts, Alonzo, that would be the news, right? The Big 12 would be suing the pants off of Texas and Oklahoma, off of ESPN, off of SEC. Nobody seems to be breaking any contracts. If everybody plays by the rules of the contracts that are in place, what exactly does getting the DOJ involved accomplish here? I guess that'd be my question.
It accomplishes the government working on things that really they have no business working on, and they need to go back to trying to govern the country.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like a guy trying to show his constituents that he's doing something, even though he knows nothing will come of it. Because in the end, what you're saying is right. What did they do? I mean, tell us what they did that was illegal, so we know what this is about. Because I don't know.
Yeah, that's my big question, right? Like, what is getting the DOJ involved here do? Now,
we're serious about this. We got a senator.
Well, here's the thing. If you're the University of Kansas, if Texas and Oklahoma leave, even if you go to the American Athletic Conference, you're losing money, right? Like, you have to reshape your athletics department budget from the top down. Your football team is going to be hurt by this. That's a fact. It's a fact. It's not an opinion. That's a fact. You are not going to make as much money in the American Athletic Conference, even if every Big 12 member goes. With Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC, you are going to be losing a lot of money. To the point that there are some analysts, myself included, that wonder legitimately about the viability of football at some of these smaller Big 12 schools. Can Iowa, without Texas and Oklahoma and Big 12 money, and with AAC money, which is, I'm ballparking it at probably 65% of what they're getting paid out for the Big 12, even if all 8 teams come over. With AAC money, can Iowa justify a football team? Can they financially support a football team? Kansas is in that boat. Kansas is not a very good football team. Doesn't mean that Kansas fans don't love Kansas football, right? If your football team isn't very good, it doesn't mean that you stop loving football, stop wanting them to play football. You just want them to do better. Well, Texas and Oklahoma leaving, even if they're doing nothing illegal, even if they're doing nothing wrong that we are aware of yet, threatens the viability of Kansas football and Kansas State football. So if you are a Kansas or Kansas State football fan in the great state of Kansas, and you are sitting there watching this whole situation play out, knowing that the viability of your football team is under fire because Texas and Oklahoma are leaving, and the Big 12 is folding, and the AAC, while you might get picked up, just will not be able to provide you with the same resources and financial backing that the Big 12 did. If you know that that is the case, I get, Lonzo, wanting to ask the authorities to step in and take a look, because you are effectively, and I think you use the word desperation. I think that's correct. I think you are hoping that the DOJ and the Attorney General and any other authoritative investigative body you can get involved will look and just try to find one thing that screwed you, so that you can go after damages, because there are damages here.
Something else to think about is if they have to put the move on hold while they're investigating. If they do, that puts off them moving anytime soon, and you keep the money that you're getting from those teams and you keep the league together.
Sure. You're right, because keep in mind,
the government doesn't move very fast.
Correct. Keep in mind that if the other 8 teams in the Big 12 are able to stick together, nobody bails, and they are able to keep that conference intact, Texas and Oklahoma have to stick around for 4 more football seasons. That is tens of millions of dollars into the conference to try to help it build itself back up to be viable after those 2 teams split for the SEC in 2025. So by doing this, I think Lonzo's on to something here. You are effectively giving the other teams in the Big 12 a reason to sit tight. We know the AAC is calling, but sit tight. Let's go through this process. And if Kansas can get them all, if this Republican senator from Kansas can get them all to stay put, to stick around, to hold up, wait a minute, and let's just see how this plays out. If he can get the other 8 teams in the Big 12 to stay put, you can force Texas and Oklahoma to play Big 12 football for 4 more seasons. And if you can create a situation where they have to stay put for 4 more seasons, that again is tens of millions of dollars in your pocket. I think you're exactly right, Lonzo. I think you're exactly right. It's a desperation Hail Mary to just pause everything. Just hold on. Worst case scenario, maybe something happened that was illegal. Maybe you can stop this whole thing from happening. And I don't know that you can force Texas and Oklahoma to stay in the Big 12. But if you can pause it, hypothetically, folks write, and can you give the folks in Texas enough time to maybe write up a law that says Texas can't switch? I don't know. Can the game be manipulated like that?
You can't force them to stay, but you can stop
Make
them.
It really hard
you can stop them from leaving yet.
Ain't wrong. All right, 844-477-3776, 844-GSP. ESPN is the number if you'd like to be a part of the program. Texter says, according to Hot Take reporter Mark Ryan, if it's denied, in reality, it's confirmed. They said no, that means yes. When we come back, round number 2. Round number 2 of which was a legitimate Olympic sport for real. Seriously, I'm not kidding. This was definitely a sport. We'll see how Lonzo does in our next 4 events. Coming up next on The Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
About 4 hours in on this kitchen set for my granddaughter, it's still not done. It's like 100 screws in this thing, little tiny screws. It's just, I think my daughter did it on purpose. See how long it would take me to put it together. Tell you one thing, she ain't tearing that thing apart.
We're looking at some of the biggest games of the college football season. Plus, in addition to each Power 5 conference via realignment, that is a total no-brainer. On a Friday episode of Offside with Mark Ryan and Diesel. 7 p.m. on ESPN Upstate.
Frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more present with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, "Can I have EPI?"
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Spectrum Business called their competitors to see if anyone could get Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. You are real close from the competition.
How many people taxes that happen?
I would 100% hope that's
Even competition recommends Spectrum Business. 0855-339-5344. Switch to Spectrum Business today.
I just got the nicest voicemail from a listener on my personal cell phone number. Super nice, though.
How'd you get your number?
I don't know.
You want to say something to Uncle Robert? Say, how about thank you, Uncle? What do you think about your name on TV? Cool. You want to say something to Uncle Robert? Say, how about thank you, Uncle Robert? Say, I'll see you soon.
Breaking news: Josh Allen is about to make money. What's going on with Josh Allen?
He's already signed the contract.
Oh, he signed? Okay.
Yeah. Well, just do something out there earlier.
This portion of the Rob Brown Show is sponsored by Sitel. Your Sitel Live starts now. Our virtual national hiring event has arrived, and this year it's a whole week. Join us August 9th through the 13th to chat with our recruiters and learn what makes Sitel Live so sweet. For details and to register, visit sitel.life/NHW2021. The Rob Brown Lockdown on Twitter.
and gentlemen, it's time for another rousing round of Olympic sport. No, seriously, it really was at one point, or was it? I don't know. Question mark. Let's play, shall we? We start. So earlier we did, Lonzo you went 3 for 4 in our opening round, correct?
I did.
The first 3 were ballroom dancing, solo synchronized swimming, or synchronized team jogging. Lonzo selected ballroom dancing. That was incorrect. It was solo synchronized swimming, which took place in 84, 88, and 92. Yes, synchronized, though.
Still doesn't make sense.
By themselves.
Yeah.
Texter, by the way, submitted the thought that maybe the synchronized was synchronized to music, not synchronized with the other dancers. But that would just be dancing, right?
Yeah. So I was going to say
we don't call dancing synchronized dancing.
Yeah, or ice skating. Do they call it synchronized ice dancing?
They call it ice dancing.
Yeah.
So then the second was horse long and high jumps, dog long and high jumps, or cat synchronized dancing. Alonzo selected horse long and high jumps. That was correct. In 1900, we had long jump and high jump for horses. Still don't understand why the jockeys get the medals. They don't do anything except be tiny.
They held on. I mean,
yeah,
the horse is jumping pretty high.
Yeah, but holding on is not an Olympic event. The horse does all the hard parts. All right. No gold medals, giant sugar cubes for the winner of that event. The third one was diving for depth. Who could dive the furthest down? Holding your breath the longest. Who could just sit underwater for the longest amount of time with their breath held? Or diving for distance before surfacing. Lonzo correctly selected diving for distance before surfacing, which was an event in 1904. And item number 4 was the 1,000-meter backwards run, the 3,000-meter human steeplechase, or 100-meter competitive walking. Lonzo, competitive walking is indeed an Olympic sport, but 100-meter competitive walking never existed. The 3,000-meter person steeplechase, human steeplechase, is the correct answer there. Now, here we go to our next group of 4. Lonzo, which of these 3 events was actually an Olympic sport? Was it A, live pigeon shooting, B, live fox hunting, or C, speed animal skinning? Which of these 3 was actually an Olympic event?
Wow.
I know. A, live pigeon shooting, B, live fox hunt, or C, speed animal skinning.
I'm going to go with pigeons.
That is correct. Lonzo bringing the heat today. In the 1900 Parisian Olympics, athletes would go out, I use that term very loosely here, and shoot in a field of live pigeons. You shot as many pigeons as you could, Lonzo, until you missed 2 in a row, in which case you were out. The winner shot something. Oh, let me look it up. I actually had this.
Yeah, because I'm curious as to how many pigeons were actually released.
According to GQ magazine, the goal was to kill as many pigeons as possible. You were eliminated if you missed 2 in a row. The event was won by Belgium's Leon de London, who managed to shoot 21 pigeons on his way to avian slaughtering glory. By the end of the event, over 300 pigeons lay dead on the field.
Avian slaughter.
Avian slaughter.
Sport of the future.
That was at the 1900 Paris Olympics when live pigeon shooting was an actual event. Here we go, Lonzo. Another group. A, synchronized skeet shooting. Shotgunners would stand 2 by 2 and shoot moving targets together in tandem. B, pistol dueling, actual duels. Or C, horseback archery, like the Huns. Which one was real? Which one was actually an Olympic event?
This is tough because, the presenter, Rob Brown, just gave an awful lot of detail on answer 1 in case I didn't know what it was.
I gave you a detail for all 3.
Well, no, you were a little more detailed on answer 1, but I'm going to go with C.
You're going to go with horseback archery.
Yes.
That is your second incorrect guess.
Still not doing bad.
Not at all. At the 1912 Olympics in Stockholm, pistol dueling was actually an Olympic event. However, I may give you half credit on this because while pistol dueling was an Olympic event, the competitors did not actually shoot at each other.
Okay.
Each would stand 3 paces from a stuffed dummy wearing a frock coat, would take their 10 paces turn, and would fire against the dummy. Then their timing and their accuracy was measured against each other to see who would have won the duel ultimately. So yeah, that's how it worked. You shot at a dummy, your time and your accuracy was measured against your other competitor to see who would have won in an actual duel. Let's see who won here. I had the list, but now I can't see it. Anyway, the U.S. won. Of course we won.
Duh.
It's an event where you shoot people. Who else would win with the Americans?
Well, there's some other countries that would be right up there.
All right, here we go. I've got 2 more for you here, Lonzo. Which of these was an actual Olympic event? A 200-meter swimming obstacle course, a 1,000-meter English Channel crossing, or the 100-meter boat pull, where a competitor would actually swim while pulling a boat through a length of swimming. Which one of those was real? The 200-meter swimming obstacle course, the English Channel crossing, or the 100-meter boat pull?
Well, as someone who participated in pulling a semi before, a boat pull sounds like just way too easy for a swimmer.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the English Channel.
That is incorrect. The first back-to-back misses for Lonzo. The correct answer was the 200-meter obstacle course in the water. Again, Paris, 1900. Swimmers had to climb up a pole, over a row of boats, under another row of boats in a 200-meter race. The winner was Australian Fred Lane. The event took place in the Seine River.
But that's not. You're not swimming the entire time, though.
I didn't say swimming. I said swimming obstacle race.
Yeah.
You're not swimming the whole time, but you are swimming, and the race is in the water, even if you have to get out of the water at one point.
Well, it doesn't. It's not a swimming race then. So
you don't accept the L.
I do not, because if you get out of the water, then you're not swimming at that point, which means that it's not what it says it was.
Texter says ESPN, these are crazy as hell. And Texter says ESPN, are we just going to skip over the fact that Strongzo said he pulls semi-trucks?
Yeah, I mean, I've forgotten all about it, and my son reminded me. We had a station event it was the Bilo Center now it's the Well. It was, I forget what it was exactly, but you could have like 8 to 10 people and see who could pull a semi the fastest.
So you actually have pulled a semi-truck?
Yeah, it was cool. Except for the fact that we won, and whoever the sponsor was at the time somehow beat us.
Okay.
It was a tie, and somehow because of the tie, they won the coin toss or something. Yeah, I don't know how.
Shocking how at the Media Olympics a former Clemson player somehow gets the tiebreaker.
It was me, my son, another kid about the same age. My son was in high school, I believe, and a wrestler at the time, and a member of the Rock 101 DJs who's no longer with us, and a couple of people from downstairs. Yeah. So it was, I didn't think we could do it, but we did it. Once the thing's rolling, it's not really as bad as you think.
Fair enough. No interest. All right. Last one from this group. We'll do one more group in the final hour of 5 more. Lonzo, which of these was an actual Olympic event? Is it the 100-meter 3-legged race, the 100-meter potato sack race, or is it speed walking? Which one is an actual Olympic event or has been in the past?
I think speed walking is the obvious of the 3, and I've done poorly this round. But I'm going to go speed walking anyway.
You are back on track. Speed walking remains an Olympic sport to this very date. And if have you seen speed walking before?
I have. And right now I'm envisioning the 4 of us on ESPN doing a speed walking contest.
Stop doing that. There are actually.
You're right, because Diesel will win again.
There are. Yeah. There are.
He do the hip thing as he's.
So there's actually rules for it's called race walking. Race walking is the answer. There's actually
they probably should change the name of that.
There are the 20-kilometer men's, 20-kilometer women's, and men's 50-kilometer. The 50-kilometer is the longest track and field event at the Olympics. They walk for 50 kilometers. How many miles is 50 K? That would be 31.06 miles of race walking.
Nope.
In race walking, 1 foot must always be in contact with the ground. A violation of this rule is called lifting. In addition, rules state that an athlete's advanced leg must remain straight from the point of contact with the ground until the athlete passes over it. So once your leg swings out in front of you, so as you're stepping, I'm going to do this for the stream because I love you guys. As you're stepping forward, once this leg, your advancing leg goes in front of your body, your knee can't bend. You must have both feet, and you have to, I don't know why I'm demonstrating this on the radio, but it seems important. You have to step over, and you can't bend your knee until it is back behind you. So your front leg has to stay straight from here to here, then you can bend it. But as you're bending, your other leg comes in front, and now it must stay straight, which is why you see the walk people do that like funny hip swing thing that they do. But yes, how do I work a chair? There we go. Race walking, ladies and gentlemen. Race walking. So,
see, when you said that, I was picturing the Monty Python walk thing.
All I hear every time I watch it's the Benny Hill theme. Nope, no, that's the circus theme.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's like the third song that I've mock sung on the air today. Why do people listen to the show? Why do you guys listen to the show? I'm so bad at this job. Why do you listen to me?
You should take a break and recover.
Why do you listen to my show? It's awful. All right, 844-477-3776 is the number to be a part of the program. 844-GSP ESPN. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. In the next hour of the show, I have 5 more for Lonzo. And if you thought the ones we read so far are weird, it gets worse. So stick around. That'll be in the last hour. ESPN The Ocho on right now. We have CrossNet, which is a combination of beach volleyball and Foursquare. You ever play Foursquare as a kid?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just aerial Foursquare.
I was around when Foursquare was invented.
Yeah. This is aerial Foursquare, and I'm here for it. All right. 844. They're not very, competitive, though. They're just kind of like.
Yeah.
barely,
I mean,
I'd be trying to dominate this game.
I'm hip checking in there.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to spike dudes' faces off in this. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show, ESPN Upstate.
Yeah, this is way too friendly. This is way too.
Yeah, if you're at the beach playing this, I'm trying to dominate this game. Absolutely.
It doesn't even look like they're having fun.
Yeah. This dude almost got a concussion. Oh, concrete, bro. Look out.
It's the most exciting thing that's happened the entire game. It was such a promising day with all the events, and then you go from strongman, which ended up being strong woman, which I could care less,
Foursquare.
to yeah. Let's go back to Tetris. Those guys look competitive. Oh, there we go. 2 o'clock hour.
Stone skipping and pinball. Let's go. I'm a killer stone skipper. I'm intrigued to see how good these guys are because I feel like I could compete.
Well, I want to know what the regulation is and exactly what, is it how many times you skip?
I assume, yeah.
The other question is,
Do you get a point for scoring? Or you like get a point? I guess you get a point for scoring and it doesn't matter what particular zone you score in.
the stone skipping, why stones? They have like specific stones that you have to use? They have to be a certain weight?
It's a good question. Seems like that would be expensive.
Unless it's provided by the menu. You know, the break. Oh, yeah. He's got They just went side out or something got eliminated. I don't know. We had to leave.
All right. Where did Dude? All right. So Dude in the blue that's got the ball now. I can play this game clearly.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions.
Do you have to go across or can you hit
I can
sideways?
go any direction.
No,
you want.
because I'll be going up and act like I'm going this way and then tap it
Yeah.
beside me. Okay.
Yeah,
you
can go
just
any
did that.
direction you want. You rotate out once you're scored on, or there? Oh, there's actually.
Yeah, they
5
side.
teams.
Yeah, they side out, and they're like people standing outside. That's part of their team. There you go.
So,
You got-
so that was weird though, because he like set up the guy next to him to serve, right? Like that guy that spiked was not on his team.
Huh. So, do you have a member of your team in each court?
Oh, because he went right back after the same guy. Okay, this is boring. Somebody spike it. So I'm saying there's so many of these that I would just rise up and
Yeah, I mean,
unless that's against the rules, maybe.
Well, it would be you would have to get above and spike down because that court is really small. I'd just be hitting it out of bounds way too much, probably. Would also be using the European leg shot thing. Somebody would be getting kicked every time I would go up above the net. Interesting team names.
Which one?
Lloyds of Ferraris. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I think it's creative. Golf card, next break.
All right, Texter says race walking is kind of like when you really have to go to the bathroom at a game. Yes. Yeah, you ever it's race walking is when you were a kid at the pool and the lifeguard said, "Tweet, no running," but you really wanted to beat your friend to the diving board. That's race walking. Race walking is you are front row at the baseball game and there's 2 outs and 2 strikes and you're like, let me beat everybody else to the bathroom between innings. So you take off. You can't run up the stairs, but you want to get there quick. That's race walking. Texter says, Rob, I listen for the ventrilla soloing. No, you don't. No, you don't. Dun, 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 dun. That's a reason to turn off the show. Stop it. Don't lie to me. Texture says, awesome segment, guys. Real pigeon shooting, dueling with a dummy. 1900s was a good time for that. No TV coverage. Like, you two know there was radio then. Yeah. I would love to be the play-by-play call for pistol dueling. Here comes the 10 paces. The turn. The shot. Outstanding shot by Jones right there. We'll get your timing and accuracy scores here momentarily. But I can tell you, Lonzo, it's been years since I have seen that level of I can't even do it.
Well, see, here's the other thing. You got to think of what the vernacular of the day or the style of the day would definitely be different than what you just did. It would be more
Give that 1920s radio casting guy.
And now we see that the pigeons have been released and flying into the air. I don't know why I went Tommy Flanagan there for a second, but it's the really old radio voices.
Yeah, that's what
they
I'm
had
saying.
a certain kind of style.
I can't even think of I can hear it in my head, but I don't even know how to do it. You guys know it though.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Babe Ruth steps up to the plate here, stepping up against old Greg Sanchez there in the starting position. He's been the pitcher for the Yankees since 1927. Babe Ruth, of course, known for that voice.
it would be that kind of
the Olympics.
calling the Olympics, calling the pigeon shooting.
Pigeons released up in the air. They're using Remington shotguns for this one. Remington shotguns brought to you by
No, that was excellent. That really was.
Can't do it. All right. 844-477-3776, 844-GSP. ESPN is the number. Text us on the Eagles Market text line at 71307.
I got another question about the pigeon shooting. So I guess I could look this up. So is it one at a time, or are they all shooting at the same time?
In my head, they just throw them into a field and go, good luck, boys.
Because
once you miss twice, you're out. Honor system.
I mean, so is it like a golf ball? You have like your signature, your initials on your bullet. I mean, so how would they know if they're all who shot who?
Well, I'm assuming you would use shotgun shells, right? You use bird shot, which you can't identify bird shot because it's a bunch of little pellets, not a bullet. So I'm assuming you're using bird shot. I guess you got to go one at a time, right? Like you send a guy out, he shoots pigeons until he misses two, and then he's done.
Sorry, I just pictured Randy Johnson there.
Randy Johnson.
With a smile on his face.
As far as I know.
And about 25 baseballs just stacked up right next to him.
A bandolier like Rambo, but nothing but baseballs and spider tack on it.
Big old thing of jaw in his mouth, just waiting for that opening bell.
Randy Johnson, the only MLB pitcher with one kill to his credit via fastball. Could be wrong. Texture says, Rob, you got to do a new segment in that last voice epic. Nope. Team USA
not bad
going
on
for the gold tomorrow up against France. France, of course, defeated Team USA back in game number 1. U.S. looking for revenge behind Kevin Durant. Durant, of course, of the Brooklyn Nets. It's awful.
I was waiting for the next advertisement, There's Foursquare, by the way.
Yeah, Foursquare was the elementary school game. For those of you who don't know why the hell we're talking about Foursquare, today ESPN. By the way, Keegan had a good question about this, and I think it's a valid question. Keegan asked earlier in the show on the Facebook chat at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate or twitter.com/ESPN Upstate or search the Rob Brown Show on YouTube. Keegan asked earlier, is it not kind of disrespectful for ESPN to run the Ocho,
run the strongman
while the Olympics are on?
Well, okay.
No,
Okay.
The Olympics are on NBC. We're getting the replay coverage during the day before we flip to
How's
live
it disrespectful? I mean, would it be disrespectful if they were playing the X Games right now? I mean, competition's competition. That's what ESPN's supposed to be playing.
Yeah, but the Olympics are supposed to be one of those events that we all come together.
That brings us together.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The Olympics aren't live right now. Neither is the Ocho.
They're not live, but also there's 4 more days of them, dude.
No, I get it, but they're not live. So you're not really hurting the ratings, because who's watching the Olympics right now is chances are someone who's working from home, or they don't have a job, or they're retired.
Yeah.
If they have any decent ratings at all, it's in prime time. It's not during the day. So I'm more upset with the programming choices of the Ocho right now, because when you play Strongman in the Ocho, what you're saying is all those other times when you turn to ESPN2 and you see the Strongman, they don't really consider that a normal sport.
We have to take a break, and here's why. I just remembered that I have a listener story sent to me last night that I have to tell you. Lonzo may have caused the divorce. I'm going to tell you that story when we come back. Rob Lonzo, it's ESPN Upstate.
Golf cart.
That's right. The 2021 golf card is on sale now. 9 rounds of golf, 9 of the most beautiful and prestigious golf courses around the entire upstate, and you are getting that all for $99. Summertime is here. The weather is here. Wish you were beautiful. Let's go play some golf. What do you say, man? And you don't just get to play 9 rounds of golf, but you get to play them at 9 incredible courses. I have knocked 3 off. I believe that. I'm knocking number 4 off this weekend and number 5 off next weekend. So far, it is already been worth my $99. And I'm not going to lie, solid chance that when I get through number 9, I'm going to buy another one for the fall and winter days. Because why not? $99, 9 rounds of golf. Golf's expensive till you get this golf card. Go to upstategolfcard.com to learn more. Upstategolfcard.com. Grab one for you, your friends, your family. Get yours today. It's the 2021 Upstate Golf Card.
Saturday, a chance for showers and storms, a high around 87, and Sunday, so chance for rain with a high of 90. Meteorologist Jennifer Kuczynski on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 84.
I hate it when people are bored.
Are bored? Oh, you're getting more assignments?
Thanks for being specific while I was being vague.
I wouldn't do it. Make you feel better. This is my Pensacola Blue Wahoos. This is their promo video for the jerseys they're wearing this weekend.
Nice.
They're playing as the Pensacola Crabzillas. Down to the Crabzilla on the butt.
Yeah, if it was in the front, it would be totally different.
And I absolutely want a Krebsilla's jersey, right? Like that's a mandatory. All right, wrap it up. The second hour of the show here on ESPN Upstate. Rob Lonzo and you. So last night, late, goofing off on Twitter as I am wont to do, like most of the time. And we got a text from Chris Arnett, who goes by at Mr. Mister Arnett, Arnette, on Twitter if you want to toss him a follow. Where he said that I am now in the doghouse because the wife said something of importance to me, and then he told the story of his response. So I said, dude, I need to know what happened. I need to know what happened. Because he said he's in trouble with his wife and he might be sleeping on the couch for a while, and it was because of us. So I said, dude, what happened? He said, and he told me, by the way, he said he gives me permission to tell the story. I'm assuming because his wife doesn't listen to the show. And if you know Mr. Arnett or his wife, bro code says you do not tell her that I'm talking about this on the radio, okay? Don't make it worse for him. Don't violate the bro code. Chris Arnett said that his wife works for a local, I'll say municipality, okay? So I'm not specific with the job title. And he said that she sat down to tell him a story, and it was, quote, just a typical someone got promoted over someone else story. He said the story went on for 45 minutes, quote, of on and on and on, end quote. He said, after the 45 minutes, I was asked what I thought, and before I know it, I channeled Zoe and Rob Brown and just came out with conspiracy. He said, evidently, I find it more funny than she does, end quote. My dude had this 45-minute story from his wife about how somebody got promoted over somebody else who deserved it more, and he said he looked at his wife without pause and said, conspiracy. I timed it poorly. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it is me doing it, so you got to see the live version.
Correct,
yeah,
yes.
So
I got the live remix, the Coachella version of the conspiracy tune. My dude said, my wife told me a 45-minute story of a sincere issue that she had at work, something that was legitimately bothering her, something that legitimately upset her. She told me this story for 45 minutes. And when she asked my thoughts, I said, and I quote, conspiracy. Chris, I want you to know that your divorce was worth it for me. Your impending divorce was worth it for that story, for the record. For the record. Oh, that was beautiful.
It's nice to know that a moment of temporary creativity on my part ended up making it into someone's conversation. I'm so happy.
If your wife tells you a 45-minute story about something that is genuinely bothering her and then asks for your opinion, do not respond with conspiracy.
Here's the thing. He should not be in the doghouse. He listened for 45 minutes and paid attention.
Yeah. They're like, babe, the only reason I said conspiracy is because I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm probably phasing out after about 3 minutes, maybe. Something like that.
At Cold Take Jim said, great. Now I'm tempted to do the same thing and risk making this a very awkward evening. Then Stathakis said, they always get over it eventually. Stathakis, I don't know how you're still married after Twitter, buddy.
Hey, man, pimp out your doghouse. It ain't so bad in there. TV, video game system, you know.
Texter said, dude sat there for 45 minutes without getting a word in. Another texter says, at least he won't have to listen to any more 45-minute long stories. None of you guys are married, I'm assuming. 1 hour left. We'll hit it when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Conspiracy. Love that story.
AutomotiveMap.com presents your ESPN Upstate Sports Center updates powered by the Score. The NASCAR weekend getting underway at Watkins Glen Saturday, featuring a doubleheader with the trucks and the Xfinity Series going, and then on Sunday the Cup Series with the Go Bowling Act at the Glen. Brett Keselowski starting from the pole, Joey Logano also in row 1, while Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson in row 2. Larson is the current projected playoff leader, followed by Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott rounding out the top 5. NASCAR also announcing the dates of the Champions Week, and that's going to take place from November 30th through December 2nd in Nashville. The full schedule of events will be released at a later time, but the award ceremony is scheduled for December 2nd. Download the Score app today, lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. With your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update, I'm Matt Pauley.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, joining us here. Bonzo and I talk wrestling on the show on a weekly basis. The show that follows us are a couple of guys that think they are too cool. They call themselves the show for men and us the show for boys because we talk wrestling. Mark Ryan is my colleague and the host of that show that thinks that wrestling is not cool, that folks like you just won't get a real job. Would you mind sending a message to Mark Ryan about his view on this?
So I've been thinking about, we need a theme for when we talk about that show for men. And I don't know what song I should use for that. I mean, because it should be a specific song where if you hear us play the music, you know that we're about to talk about that show for men. Not that they're, often a topic of discussion, but it will come up on occasion. And we live in their heads. So need a song. And It's Raining Men just doesn't work. It's gotta be something.
Every time I walk in this room, you are saying something way ridiculous.
Well,
Is that a game you're playing?
No. Well,
Is there a legitimate.
No. I'm saying that we need a theme song for that show for men. For any time we talk about that show for men, the music will just suddenly play.
It's
and
Raining Men is great.
It's Raining Men. I don't know if that works or not.
Absolutely works.
I don't know if it's macho enough.
All right, listen. I need to do this. And Lonzo's not going to be a big fan of what I'm about to do. But that's okay. It's Friday. It's 2:00. We got 57 minutes left to show. I'll get out after it's over. Earlier at 1:08, my phone rang. Just out of nowhere, like my personal cell phone. And the individual named Rich who called is just a fan of the show. Just a fan of the show. Rich called my personal number, and Rich, with all respect, how'd you get my personal number, man? I don't give it out around the upstate, right? But he somehow got my personal number, and he called and he left a voicemail. Now, I'll tell you that for many, many years, I've been doing this job. I've been in this business for 14 years, okay? And Lonzo, here's what I've learned in 14 years. If a listener gets your private cell phone number and they leave you a voicemail, most of the time it means that you're going to need like supervision to walk to your car for the next few days, okay? Rich left like the nicest voicemail of all time. I'm going to play it Because I love it. Right off my phone through the speaker, Lonzo. If it sounds like crap, you cut it. But I think it's going to be just fine.
So I was worried you're going political or something.
Oh,
but
no.
You're going to offend me with bad sound.
Yeah.
Which bothers me worse than anything.
More than anything else.
Yeah, okay.
If I can get it to work.
I'm just a listener, and I didn't have my reading glasses on. I just wanted to call in and tell y'all how much I love y'all breaking up my day with everything not having to be so serious. It just, we all get caught up in ourselves and how important we are and whatnot, but I love how you and Alonzo banter with each other. My name is Rick, and if you want to call me back and me call in, whatever, I don't care, but I just want to let you know, I appreciate how y'all break up my day. So sometimes when I get thinking I've got a business and think I'm too serious and I need a little lightening up in the day, y'all help me with that. And I appreciate you not talking sports all the time. I used to love to listen to Dan Levitard just because.
All right, I have to pause it for 1 second because he says a bad word, and we're back.
It makes me laugh. So I'm just listening to y'all now, and it's on a Friday at 1:10, and I love when y'all start bantering and stuff. And if y'all want to talk about mayonnaise or whatever, I don't care. I love it. Thank you very much. My name is Rick.
Rick, thank you very much, buddy. I don't know how in the world you got my private phone number, but listen, my ego becomes more important than my confidentiality at that point. All right. Thanks, Rich. Good man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean that's awful nice, and that's what we try to do here. And now, I enjoy the compliment, and I really appreciate the compliment. But I'm also concerned about how the phone number got out there.
I had no idea. You know, it might be he knows somebody who does have. There's people I've made friends with around here.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They may just know a guy who.
I also,
like, yeah, Rob won't care.
I also know a guy who just will randomly just throw numbers out on, let's say, the airwaves, and that's a concern. There it is, by the way.
Stone skipping now on the Ocho. Apparently, there is a stone skipping trophy.
Man, that's pretty good. You said you were good at it. Could you do that?
No. This cat's ridiculous. This cat's ridiculous. All right, so he's using a bit. All right.
And we know that this is new because he's wearing a mask.
I can do that. That one was not good. Put too much air on it. He got the left-hand turn, so it started pushing left. He didn't get, not a good one there.
I'm trying to figure out what he was aiming at. There's something out there. He almost hit it.
Oh, that was bad too. Oh, I can beat these guys. Are you kidding me? That was trash.
I wonder if each of these throws have been at a different angle.
So I guess they're slow-mo. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we were wondering how this counts. Apparently they're like, see, that's a good one. They're like slow-mo videoing it and counting the number of skips that he gets. So 35, 2, 17, 1. One skip and you're in the national stone skip. There you go. That's better.
Dude, if you see how many different little hits of I don't even know what that's called, but that's a lot.
So he's got 35, 2, 17, 1, 36. So 2 decent throws out of 5.
So how do you do play-by-play for something like that?
Alex Ferry. Now, oh no, he's done. Now we're going to, okay, Kurt Mountain Man Steiner clearly knows what he's doing.
First of all, he's a Steiner. So, I mean, there's that.
Guinness World Record holder at 88 skips of a stone.
It's a nice
look at the follow through. Oh, he brings his own box. Look at what it says. Did you see what his box said?
Tactical
ammo box. Tactical rock box has Kurt Mountain Man Steiner from Emporium, Pennsylvania. Kurt held the world record between 02 and 07 with 40 steps. Then he got bored, turned into a mountain man, now at 88. All right, got a good brace, setting himself up, finding the muscle memory here. Kurt's going to step in. Nice submarine throw. Oh, big first step. Look at that, Lonzo.
What kind of boots is he wearing? Are those Timberland?
That was an absolute monster throw. That's unbelievable. All All right, I am better than what was his name? Alex Ferry Woods something.
Second place.
I'm better than Alex Silver Medal, but I am nowhere in the game with Kurt Mountain Man Steiner.
I think he's a long lost Steiner brother. You know you're thinking it.
So there. Now here's the other thing. That thing you saw earlier, there's a stack of rocks out there in the river. If you hit that, do you win automatically?
I don't know.
Because all you're doing is going for that, right?
Or is that a point of reference for filming? I don't know.
It's just sitting out there. It's like 8 rocks just balanced on top of each other. Is it like the golden snitch? Like you hit that, you automatically win no matter what?
Well, you have to catch
that throw. Oh, he kind of changed up his stance on this
one.
Well,
look at the end of that. He put some English on that thing.
Turned it to the right. Look at that. Turned his whole throw upside down. All right, we got to stop breaking down stone throwing. ESPN coming up next on the Ocho, marathon spouse listening. Which man will be left standing? Ladies and gentlemen, nope, scratch that. Gentlemen, listen to your boy. If your wife wants to tell you a 45-minute story, listen to it. Listen to it. For 2 reasons. Number 1, she's your wife. You love her. It's the right thing to do. Number 2, there's going to come a point during this upcoming football season, which started last night with the Hall of Fame game, Cowboys and Steelers. Oh, he almost hit the stack, Lonzo. Watch this. He missed the stack by like maybe an inch. All right, solid number of skips. It's like the Stones walking. Watch how close he gets. Bloop.
So it's like closest to the pin.
I don't know. Is he going for it again? Nope, he's off to the right this time. All right, so listen to that 45-minute story, and here's the reason why. Texter says, ESPN, only you guys can get away with live stone skipping play-by-play and make it entertaining. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry or thanks, one or the other. ESPN, nothing quite like hearing television described on the radio. It's easy to see how you were nominated for Best Sports Show, thinking outside the box.
You're welcome.
There's that nomination right there, man. Was it next Saturday? Is it next Saturday we go? Yeah, next Saturday we go.
That'll be, he had to check his phone. Yes, it's next Saturday.
Sure, yeah. If your wife...
I'm going to go out and buy me some new clothes in the next couple of days. I'm buying me a button-up shirt.
I already got mine. Hot pink shirt, white tie, black paisley jacket.
Who is surprised that Rob is wearing hot pink?
You look damn good doing it, too.
I didn't say you wouldn't.
Real men wear pink.
No one's surprised. I am. I agree with you, but I'm not going for the pink. So I like to wear purple when I go to these things because royalty.
Good with that. If your wife asks you to listen to a 40... No, let me phrase that. First off, your wife's not going to ask you to listen to a 45-minute story. She's just going to go into a 45-minute story. Trust me, I'm not married. I know how this works. 45-minute story is not something that's going to be asked. But if your wife asks you or starts delivering a 45-minute story, it's because it's important to her. Even if it doesn't matter to you, it's important to her that you listen. And here's the part that I took forever to learn, Lonzo. I didn't know this until I was way too old. And half of you married dudes are going to go, duh, Rob. But more often than not, if a woman tells you a 45-minute story, Lonzo, she doesn't want you to listen to it and then offer advice. She just wants you to listen to it. She just wants to get it off. Just get it off. Just get it out. Be done with it. I've told it. I've vented on it. I'm done.
Well,
she just wants to be done with it.
He did listen to it. 45 minutes worth.
Correct.
He did.
Correct. And that was good. The response of conspiracy is not good. Because basically what you just said is, I listen to you, babe. I hear you, sweetheart. And all I can think of is to make a joke about this situation you consider very serious. Don't get me wrong. Rob appreciates the hell out of you making it a joke because it's hilarious. She won't. But if she tells you a 45-minute story, it's because it's important to her to get it off her chest. and you're the person she trusts with that information. Listen to it. Not because you're going to solve it. She doesn't want you to solve the problem. She just wants you to listen to it. She's a smart lady. She'll figure it out. Not because she wants you to fix it. She doesn't. She just wants you to listen to it. She just trusts you to listen. But here's why. Because at some point in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 months, as we go through football season, at some point, there's going to be a game on television that doesn't matter all that much to people who don't watch college football, but it matters to you. All right? Notre Dame opens the season against, who are they playing on Peacock? It's not Purdue, is it?
I'm pretty sure it was a Big
Toledo.
Ten team. Yeah,
Toledo.
I guess I was wrong. Yeah.
Notre Dame Toledo is opening the season on Peacock. Not a big deal, yeah? Not a huge deal.
It is if you're Toledo.
Or Notre Dame. And if you're just a big college football fan like I am, like Lonzo is, like y'all are, you're going to want to be able to sit down and watch that first game. And it's going to be at a weird time, and there's a good, better than average chance that that wife who told you a 45-minute story is going to go, babe, I know this game's important to you, but like we need to go, I don't know, antiquing, shopping. I need you to cut the grass. I need you to edge the driveway. I need you to clean the gutter. I need you to scrape the roof.
Has someone ever said to you, hey, let's go antiquing?
Yes. Absolutely. Has that never been said to you?
No.
You live in a compound.
Well, yeah.
You have your own antiques.
And I'm older, and maybe antiquing is just, let's go look for stuff that was around when we were little.
For the record, I didn't even hate antiquing. I found some cool. I own 4 swords, Lonzo. I found all 4 of them antiquing. You can find some cool stuff.
There's nothing wrong with having an arsenal.
I found an original pressing of the Beatles' White Album. Original pressing of the Beatles' White antiquing. I paid $4 for it.
Wow.
That album's worth like $300 first press.
Was the jacket in good shape?
Yes. Cellophane wrap still.
Oh.
It had never been unsealed. $4 I got that album for. That's a $400 record.
What is wrong with those people?
That's why you go antiquing.
Yeah. Well,
It's not a bad plan. You can come up with some stuff if you know.
You know,
what you're looking
Rob, down here, we call it a jockey lot.
for. I found yes. That's fine. Which I've heard about, but haven't been there yet.
I haven't either, but my wife has been and got me this killer Nerf gun.
The lady friend said she grew up at the jockey lot. Like, did you just go find stuff, right? I found an autograph poster from season 1 of the Muppet Show signed by Jim Henson once. Just found it. Got it verified. Own it. I bought it for like $1.50. All right. That's fine. We were way off base here.
But we've learned something.
Back to the thing. Look at Alan the Gas Man Passmore from Snowball, Arkansas.
By the way, real quick while we're off of this, each skipper is allowed 6 stones. Big skips are called plinkers.
Okay.
And the little skips at the end are called pity pats.
All right. 1 planker, 2 planker, and now like 14 pity pats.
The judges will try to count the number of skips. That will be the official score.
I feel like I would be a middle of the road stone skipper. I would beat some of the dudes that are on this. But like, what was the last dude? The Steiner Mountain Man?
Yeah.
That dude's on a different planet of stone skipping.
No one,
I could beat Gas Man though.
No one pity pats like the mountain man.
I can beat Gas Man. I got him beat. He's too upright when he finishes his throw. You got to be almost falling sideways when you finish the throw.
We don't know how tall he is. I'm sure, arm length comes into play.
All right. ESPN, great. If breaking down rock skipping wasn't good enough, now we get to listen to how to be a husband from someone who is not married. Quit mansplaining how to be a husband, please. I'm giving you advice. Don't listen to me if you don't want.
But
Don't listen to me.
you are listening.
Don't listen to me if you don't want. That's fine. That's fine, Texter. That's cool. It's up to you. I'm just telling you. There's going to be a point where there's a game on TV that you're going to want to watch. And she's going to be like, you watch so much football. I need you to not watch this one to go scrape the gutters for me. And you're going to be able to say, babe, I love you. Remember that time I listened to that 45-minute story? Remember that? I need this. Like you needed to tell that story to me. And I was happy to listen. I was happy to listen to you. I need this for my mental stability. I need this.
See, I don't understand this world that you and some others live in where the woman is not a sports fan. I don't get that because I've been to games. Yeah, he almost said it. I've been to games in several different states, and there are a lot of women in the stands, and they don't look like they're being forced into the stands. They're there because they want to be. And this is 2021. There's a good shot that maybe the woman is the fan in the relationship, and the guy doesn't like sports.
I agree, but
because he's into antiquing.
I agree. And if you find that, congratulations on what we in the dating game call a unicorn. All right? And there are men who don't like sports dating women who do. I've got a very dear friend of mine who's a huge Dallas Cowboys fan dating a guy who does not like American football at all. And some of their biggest fights are when I go home because she calls me. She's like, can we go watch the football game? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, oh, you're going to spend time with Rob instead of me because of football? And she says, yeah, it's a thing.
See, Tommy on the stream gets it, or you have a girl who watches football. My house stops when football is on.
Unicorn. But you have to understand.
My wife watches sports when I'm not at home.
Right.
I mean, but I think that's more the usual than the unusual now.
Texter says, that sounds too logical. That's not marriage. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we finish up. Which one was an Olympic sport? No, seriously. This one definitely was. Like, I'm not making this up. Final 5. We'll see if Lonzo can go 5 for 5 to wrap up the game when we come back on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate.
Prisma.
Our friends at Prisma Health here in the Upstate, the official healthcare providers of both the Gamecocks and the Tigers. And they want to be the official healthcare provider for you and your family as Going to do it, right?
Do what?
I showed you where to go to do it, didn't I?
Yeah, but I'm lazy. I was pointing it out because I didn't know if you were leaving it off on purpose, and I didn't
No,
want
I
to take it
just-
off if you were. So
I just forget.
you are the captain of the ship. I just control the rudder.
No, dude, you're like Spock.
A science officer? No. No,
you're
that would not be
Spock.
me.
No. You're like Spock in that, like, James T. Kirk can claim all the glory, but if it wasn't for Spock, Kirk would have killed himself hundreds of times over.
Especially in the whatever they call that, the newer ones,
Yes.
the Chris Pine versions. You know what we didn't do?
Fanboy Friday.
Are we doing that? Because
Let's do a very short.
I got 15 seconds to put the intro in.
Let's
That's
do
why I'm
Olympic
asking.
sport or not, and then we'll do Fanboy Friday after that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, we can play the intro later, or
Yeah.
just we don't even have to play the intro. But I have it ready in case you want. As soon as I find it.
All right. You are 0 for 1, 1 and 1, 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 4 and 2, 4 and 3. All right, Lonzo heads into the final 5 questions of which was actually for real, seriously, an Olympic event. Lonzo is 5 and 3 so far. He's 5 and 3 through the opening portion of the game. You have 5 remaining, Lonzo. You have 5 remaining. So you only need to get, 2 right in order to win. If you can go 2 for 5 in the last 5, or 2 and 3 in the last 5, you walk out of here with a win. All right, so you're 5 and 3 as we head into our final 5. Lonzo, which of these 3 was actually for real, seriously, an Olympic sport? Was it A, poodle grooming, B, horseshoeing, or C, cat wrangling? Which of those 3 was actually an Olympic sport?
We go with horseshoeing.
That is incorrect. You were 5 and 4 in the 1900 Paris Olympics. Poodle grooming was actually an Olympic sport. I'm not making that up.
I'm about ready to walk out of this room. There's no way that poodle grooming was an Olympic sport.
Poodle grooming in 1900 in Paris was absolutely an Olympic event. It was a trial event, meaning they put it in for 1 year to see if they wanted to leave it in down the road. They obviously did not, but yes, poodle grooming. In fact, there is an advertisement for the 1900 Olympics, and poodle grooming is featured right dead center.
And it is in France.
And it is in
See,
France.
I should have thought France.
French.
I should have.
Yep.
I should have.
Yep. All right, here we go, Lonzo. Which of the, you are 5 and 4 now. So you're 1 over 500. You're the Atlanta Braves right now. Which of these was an official for real Olympic sport? Is it A, team water jug filling? They put a water jug on one side, a team of 4 on the other. They would fill up a scoop with water. You had to run across the field 100 meters, dump the water into the jug.
Also
First
known
team
as
across-
field day or vacation Bible school.
Exactly. Field day water jug filling. B, tug of war. Or C, Nerf range fight. Like they would literally take Nerf guns out onto a range and have war.
I think we know that I know about Nerf. Got an arsenal in the office right now. I'm going to go with tug of war.
That is correct. Tug of war in 1920. There was a 6-meter long pit in the middle. You had teams of 6. Great Britain would dominate that event in the 1920
6 meters,
Olympics.
so that's what 20 feet.
No, it's like 18 and a half, something like that. Who cares? Not the point. Not the point. Texter says, what prize is on the line? Pride. Lonzo is 6 and 4.
Look. Oh, I wanted to see who the guys were who were announcing the pinball
Who is it?
competition. I just,
No idea.
yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
You'll see.
All right. 6-4 with 3 to go. Lonzo can theoretically still lose this game if he gets all 3 wrong. All right. Which of these, Lonzo, was an actual, for real, seriously Olympic event? Is it A, club juggling? That's the bowling pins. They call them clubs. B, dodgeball. Or C, miming, which was actually an Olympic event, Lonzo.
So this is where France could be a problem because 1 and 3 would work in the French Olympics.
But there's also a lot of other Olympics that weren't in France.
Yeah, but it seems to me that you're picking a lot from France. What was number 2 again?
Dodgeball.
I'm going dodgeball.
You are 6-5. That is incorrect. Club juggling was there in the 1904 Olympics. The 1904 Olympics were held in St. Louis, as a matter of fact. 1904 St. Louis. Club juggling was an event. So you were now 6-5. Lonzo, which of the following was seriously, legit, actually an Olympic sport? Was it A, lawn darts, B, lawn dart duels, or C, croquet, which was actually a seriously, for real, an Olympic event?
All right, see, this is a problem because I've done all 3 of those.
Sure.
And the
But
lawn
one of them was an actual Olympic
the lawn
sport.
dart dueling is so much fun.
It would be hilarious.
I can't believe they banned that game because, teaches you how to dodge, and things like that. I'm going to go croquet.
You are 7-5. Croquet was correct in the 1900 Paris Olympics. Croquet was for 1 year an Olympic sport. Lonzo, you cannot finish with anything but a winning record. Congratulations. Pressure's off for the last question.
By the way, I just want to say that if croquet were still in the Olympics, that would be my shot.
That would be the one.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, there's a campaign right now to add cornhole to the next Olympics.
Still haven't played it ever. We've been talking about this. Still haven't played it. The opportunity is going to come eventually for you and I to do this, but I still haven't played cornhole.
Texter says, Panda says, when poodle grooming was revealed as an Olympic sport, I instantly heard Lonzo whisper, conspiracy, in my ear. All right, Lonzo, you're 7-5. You can't finish with anything worse than a winning record. Last 3 sports, which of these was actually an Olympic sport? Was it A, Tetris, B, lawn tennis, or C, rope climbing? A, Tetris, B, lawn tennis, or C, rope climbing?
I'm leaning towards 1, but
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go with C,
Which one were you leaning towards?
Tetris.
But you're going with C,
I'm
rope
going
climbing?
with rope climbing.
You are 8-5 with a win to walk off. It was indeed rope climbing in the 1932 Olympics. Rope climbing was an Olympic sport. Tetris has never been an Olympic sport. Lawn tennis has never been. However,
What the heck is lawn tennis anyway? Is that badminton? I don't. What is lawn tennis?
lawn tennis is like, if I read it right before the show, and I could be wrong on this, but lawn tennis is like it's like miniature. It's like pickleball. It's like pickleball, if I recall correctly. It's like pickleball, I think. Now, I think, and I screwed up on the last one here because I think there are some people that call tennis on grass courts now. They call it lawn tennis.
Yeah, because as soon as I Googled lawn tennis,
It came up as regular tennis.
There's the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Lawn tennis was like initially a smaller version of tennis that you could play on like during tea time
all
on
right.
the lawn.
Tennis originally was known as lawn tennis, is formerly still is in Britain, but
Oh.
because it is played on grass courts by Victorian gentlemen and ladies.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
Lonzo finishes 8-5.
I just heard Knight jumps Queen. I don't know why in my head.
Chess? Okay.
I was quoting History of the World Part 2.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. All right.
So I
8-5 for the win for Lonzo.
did I do as well as you thought? I would do, or worse.
I was gutting for. There were 13, so you could not go 500. I was betting above 500, but I thought it was going to be like 7 and 6. So 8 and 5, you're right there. You're right above what I thought. I thought this was tough.
I do random trivia every day.
Yeah.
So, well, at least Monday through Friday. So at least I'm not nervous about
True.
it. Some people, they get it under the lights and they wilt. I'm not that guy.
Texter says, Rob, did you come up with all of these on your own? I went and I found the list of strange Olympic sports, and then I paired them with 2 fake ones each. So yes and no. I found the Olympic sports that were real, and then I paired them with other ones, which is why, like, for instance, ballroom dancing, I paired, or solo synchronized swimming, I paired with ballroom dancing, because I thought ballroom dancing is one that you could legit see it be a real Olympic sport, and synchronized team jogging, which is a little ridiculous. Horse high jump and long jump, I was like, well, what if dogs did that? Like there's also a poodle grooming, which is why, and when I did poodle grooming, I was like, cat wrangling would be hilarious, and horseshoeing seems like it would be one that in the early 1900s would be something that those weird people wanted to do as an Olympic sport.
All right, I gotta say,
yes, I came
out
up with all those on
of
my own.
all the ones that were actual sports, the weirdest one is poodle grooming.
Yeah, 100% without a question, without a doubt. All right, that's going to do it for which one of these was actually an Olympic sport. No, seriously, it definitely was. I'm not kidding. When we come back, a very abbreviated Fanboy Friday to wrap up Friday, then Twitter trending topics, and we call it a day. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Are they playing head to head?
Yes. You any good at pinball?
I was. I haven't played in a long time. You know, Rob, before there were arcades,
There were pinballs.
Yes.
Oh, this girl in the green hair is not very good. I feel like I could beat her.
She's older than you, I think.
Okay.
She's 38. I know it doesn't matter, but, you know. No, before the arcades opened, my mom would go to places, pinball halls, and they would actually have like what I would call a pop crate, and you would call a soda crate.
Soda?
And I would
Coke machine, bro.
I would stand on those to see the table and play. Yes.
In Asheville, there is a pinball museum. $10 gets you in. There's like 120 something pinball machines. $10 gets you in, full bar and food, and you can play pinball as long as you want to stay in there.
You know, I started to say ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball.
From SoCo down about, I'm going to play them all. I forgot the lyrics for a second.
That
deaf, dumb, and blind kid
sure plays a mean pinball.
Ba-na. Oh, green hair chick found her rhythm. She blew it. She was just alternating between the rail on the left and right. Oh, blew it again.
So now I have to go track down a promo that we're not sure.
Not sure what?
I like sleuthing, so you know.
Sleuthing.
But in the end, if it's not my fault and it's someone else's fault, do I point out that it's someone else's
I'm
fault?
sorry, it's my fault.
Anyway, there's a dude. I was just laughing at that dude.
You on the left?
Yeah. Looks like
It looks exactly what an ESPN pinball commentator would look like.
yeah, he looks like forget the dude's name.
I kind of want to play that Avengers pinball game, though.
Looks like a cool table.
Yeah.
You're right, Steven. If you can dodge that dart, but what you got to do is when you throw that dart up, then you distract people and they don't know when it's coming down. Same sort of thing as like from Grown Ups when they shot the arrow up in the air. Those lawn darts will ding your feet pretty good and gash you if done correctly.
So when you do lawn dart dueling, do you play the rules of stand your ground? You have to take the hit?
No.
So you can move?
Yeah, it's about agility. And also with agility, it's also a matter of skill, and you're trying to assess where you think your opponent's going to move and have the dart there when they move into it.
We went with you pick your spot, but once you had your spot, you could not move. You had to take the hit if it was coming at you. We got like 6 minutes of this, 7
or so.
Fanboy Friday, where we talk about everything movie, video game, pop culture, music, whatever Lonzo and I want. These are the discussions we have off the air in the office, but we come into the studio and do them on the air for a few minutes. Real quick, because it's Fanboy Friday and we can talk about anything that we're fanning out over. Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters were playing a show in Kansas. I just stole a Twitter trending topic from you.
Yes, you did.
That's okay. I want to talk about this more than I want to briefly hit it in Twitter trending topics. Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters were playing a concert in Kansas tonight. And as they pulled into town, Westboro Baptist Church. I don't care what your religion is.
Also known as wackos.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't care what your religion is, your religious beliefs, background. I don't care if you're Jewish, Muslim, atheist, Catholic, Episcopalian. Those are the ones that eat fish, I think.
Do you draw the line at the Satanists? I
no,
okay.
I really don't.
All right, okay.
Because I actually know Satanists. Most of them don't actually believe in Satan. They don't believe in Satan. They don't actually believe in Satan. They use it as a illustration of people who want to.
Breaking news: Rob Brown is down with Satanists.
Yes, because most of them are Satanists, right? I am a believer in the separation of church and state, right? I'm a believer in separation of church and state. I think it's the most important wall to protect democracy. I don't think anybody's religion is more important than anybody else's. Satanists don't actually believe in Satan. Every time somebody says we need to do this because we need to bring religion into government, their point is, would you allow that if the religion was Satan instead of your own religion? It's an illustrative point, not an actual belief.
I don't entirely agree with you as far as the Satanist goes, but we were talking about Westboro.
Yes, we were. So the Westboro clowns, who are bad people, all right, they just are. They're bad people. I don't care what your religion is till you start being this kind of person who shows up at the funerals of KIA service members and whatnot. That's just that you're just a bad person. All right. Well,
and they're odd looking.
They're weirdos.
Yeah,
dude.
just from the look standpoint.
They're weirdos.
I know I'm not no, I am pretty sexy, but these people they're just odd looking.
Yeah, they're weirdos.
I mean,
so they showed up to protest the Foo Fighters concert with their signs that says free will is a satanic lie. God hates your idols. And then, of course, the ones that we can't say on the air. Well, because Dave Grohl is the best. Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters got into the back of a truck, set up a full band and PA, drove by, stopped in front of the Westboro Church Losers, and started playing You Should Be Dancing, yeah, by the Bee Gees.
Which we watched. We watched a version of it. It's pretty accurate.
It's a solid rendition.
It's not bad. They didn't like make it their own, which is what you usually want for a cover, but still, I mean,
it's like true to the original, but with a little bit more electricity.
Yeah.
True to the original, but with a little more rock.
They took some of the disco out of it.
Yeah. They put a little rock in where there used to be disco, but it's a pretty true. So the Foo Fighters playing and singing You Should Be Dancing, yeah, followed around by people on roller skates in hot pants, started just rolling circles around the Westboro Clowns playing You Should Be Dancing, yeah. And it's great. In other Fanboy Friday news.
So there's actual video of this.
Yes. And it's incredible. It's hilarious. Because they freak out and Grohl's just having the time of his life. The time of his life. It's amazing.
I see. I saw the sign and I didn't know what it was, and I just skipped past it. There they are in a truck. Look at that.
Big truck, big trailer. They're just playing Bee Gees music to the Westboro Clowns.
See, do you think it's one of the? Was this? You think Grohl was just like, you know what? Hey guys,
let's do this.
You want to do this?
Somebody get me a truck.
Because he seems like the kind of guy that he's telling his manager, "Hey, I need a truck
100%,
right now." Right
100%.
now.
Grohl. You know what I call Grohl? Dave Grohl's the King Midas of music. Everything he touches turns to gold. Grohl has never done anything bad musically in his career. He is King Midas of music. One more Fanboy Friday topic, and I'm sorry to go wrestling, but I had to. Lonzo, I would like to say that I now play contract negotiations by WWE rules. That is to say, if you are signing a contract and I walk up behind you and hit you with a chair and then write my name on the contract, that contract is now valid for me. It's now mine. Watch your ass, Bezos.
I gotta say, I don't recall seeing it done that way before. I thought it was.
Yeah, do you know why?
Yeah.
It's very dumb. Very dumb.
You didn't think it was? I thought it was pretty funny.
No.
I thought it was. You're taking it a little too serious, Rob. You're just taking it a little too serious.
Wrestling. It's still real to me, damn it.
You're taking it a little too serious.
Still real to me.
I think it's great. I think that the way they weaved Corbin into the story, also great.
That was fine.
I liked it.
The Cena Corbin segment was fine. Corbin coming after Balor was fine. One, Finn Balor got screwed.
He did.
Two, that's not how contracts work, even in cartoons. That's not how contracts work.
I've never signed a contract in radio, but I am told that it's something similar to that.
Sign a contract? What?
All right.
Yes, you have.
No, I'm just an employee.
Yes, so am I. And I had to sign a contract to work here.
Yeah. See, there are talent on that side of the glass. Talent signs contracts. Regular essential workers,
right?
We just get hired. That's how that works.
Oh man!
So you've learned something,
man.
There. I'm just a there are officers, and then there are sergeants.
Let me go ahead and warn you. Coming up in March, when it's time for me to renew my contract, and I sit down with the big boss and I negotiate my 7-figure raise, if you walk into the room and hit me with a chair and then sign my contract, it doesn't make you the host of this show, Lonzo. For the record.
You know you want to do it now. You know you absolutely want to do it now.
Listen, you think we're not doing Facebook Live on that? Where I sit down to sign my contract and you don't come in and bust me for it?
Mark would get it. I'm not so sure about Steve.
I don't care. We're doing it. A couple of texts that have come in. ESPN, speaking of cat wrangling, those fellas had a hard time corralling that feline at the MLB game recently. Yeah, there was another cat. It's like the third or fourth time this has happened.
It wasn't a black cat, was it?
No, it was not. But that has happened too. There was a rally cat in St. Louis like 4 or 5 years ago. The rally cat came on the field. Listen to the story. It's wild. I actually read it, as a matter of fact, today. Rally cat comes on the field. It takes forever to catch him. Finally, one guy catches him. The cat tears him up while he's taking him out of the stadium, and they just take the cat and throw him out of the stadium, right? The very next pitch, Yadier Molina, as the Cardinals were down 3, hits a grand slam. Cardinals win by 1. They called him Rally Cat. Well, there was this big custody battle, right? Because a shelter found him. The shelter wanted to keep him. The Cardinals wanted to adopt him as a team mascot. Hundreds of people around St. Louis started offering to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to adopt the Rally Cat. It's insane. And now we've got another Rally Cat. Just let the cats live, okay? Spay and neuter your pets. If you have a house cat, do not let them go outside, all right? Outside cats should not be a thing because all cats are tiny murder machines, and they kill natural wildlife. Keep your cats inside. spay and neuter them. And if you see a stray
really?
cat,
So you're upset about the cats doing what comes natural?
yes,
No,
because they kill other natural birds for no reason at all.
yeah, because they're a predator,
Right, and they should not be outside.
Okay, all right,
They
because
shouldn't be.
if we want to go way back when cats were free and roam free, and
House cats weren't. We evolved
they
them.
ate birds. Yeah,
We
they
made
have.
them.
We didn't make them like in a test tube. They evolved from other cats.
Right.
So that means that, originally they're just following their instinct.
Keep
If there's a
cats
bird, it's food.
Keep your cats inside. All right? Just keep your cats inside. Just do it. Just keep your cats inside. At ESPN, some of the kindest people I know are atheists. Yeah, it turns out if you just get to know other people,
By the way,
regardless of their background,
difference
it's
between an atheist and a Satanist.
Most Satanists are atheists. That's exactly the point. They don't actually. We're gonna have to have this talk.
No. Satanists cannot be atheists.
Yes, they can.
A Satanist, by definition, worships Satan, which makes Satan their deity. An atheist doesn't believe in anything like that.
We'll talk. Texas
Man, I hope not.
Did you? Did you see when Dave and his daughter sang together? Yeah, it's great. Dave Grohl is the best, man. All right, we got to take a break. Lonzo and I have some philosophical discussions to have. He's so excited. He is shaking his head yes so hard it's going to fall off.
No, a shake is not yes. A nod is yes.
Very abbreviated
no.
Twitter trending topics when we come back to wrap it up on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. All right, so to Stefakis and Tommy, who have said that Lonzo is 100% correct. Yes and no. He both is and is not. He is
going to be 100% and not be 100%.
He's the Schrodinger's correct. So, here's how. There are Satanists who actually worship Satan, right? And they believe in Satan as an actual entity and worship him. But the majority of Satanists are actually atheists too. And all atheist means is a lack of belief in a supernatural deity. Okay. They, by definition, as atheists, do not believe in Satan, but they utilize Satan not as a point of worship, but to make a point, right? So when you have people who say that we should interject, and predominantly, as the country's 85% Christian, predominantly the people who want to interject more religion into our government are Christians by definition. And who is the worst entity to a Christian is Satan. So the point they use is if somebody says, I want to interject my religion into government, they utilize the image of Satan to make the point of, well, if you get to interject your religion based on the Constitution, I get to interject mine as well. And therefore, I'm going to use Satan as an illustration of why you are not allowed to interject your religion into the government that governs me, who does not have a religion.
I'm curious what that has to do with the Dave Grohl concert.
I don't know. How did that come up?
Because you went there as we were talking about.
No, you said something about Satanist, right?
It doesn't
You
matter.
said they did. You,
It doesn't matter. You went from the Dave Grohl concert to suddenly talk about church and the state and all that. You went politics because
I'm
you
gonna have to go back and listen
because
to
you wanted to, and there was no reason to go there. And I'm just like, okay, I thought we were talking about a Foo Fighters concert. Now all of a sudden we're talking about the government.
Dave Grohl is God.
Okay.
It used to be Clapton. Clapton used to be God. Then it turned out that Clapton's a terrible human being, which is sad, honestly. Stathakis. Stathakis gets it. Literally, that's what they're doing.
No, I think he's just talking about you.
Maybe. I don't know if you have picked this out about me. I do like to be what's the word? A confrontationist? That's not the right word, is it? That's not even a real word, is it?
Well, since you are a contrarian like me, it's hard for a contrarian to go against a contrarian because we're trying to figure out which side to take. And that's why there are struggles sometimes.
Confrontationist is a real word.
Good for you. We're coming back.
Now, good for you, buddy. I'd like you to rub me on the head if you could.
It's also known as, wasn't that special?
Isn't that? Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Lonzo during the break looked at me and said, "Aw, good for you."
All right. We only have time for one. Jake Gyllenhaal
Jake
is trending.
Gyllenhaal is trending because he said that he doesn't view showering or bathing as like a thing that he needs to do frequently. He said it's okay to go au natural without showering and bathing for days at a time. And let me just say to you, Jake Gyllenhaal, you are wrong.
I am curious if that's something that the show for men will adopt or have already adopted.
I mean, I'm looking at Diesel right now.
Diesel's fine. I mean,
I feel like Diesel showers once a week at minimum.
Well, I've only seen on Tuesdays because that's shower day. We've only seen Mark like a couple times outside. So,
I will say this. Jake Gyllenhaal said he finds bathing to be less necessary at times. I believe that good manners and bad breath got you nowhere. So I do that. But I think there's a whole world of not bathing that is helpful for skin maintenance. We naturally clean ourselves. No, Jake.
How do we naturally clean it? Is he like a cat?
You ever been anybody who claims to naturally be clean? They stink.
No, those are the kind of people you hang around, not me. There's a tree right out there for you, buddy.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Lonzo and I might be back Monday. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. Mark Ryan and Diesel up next. See you Monday. Later, brother.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Between that and our discussion about atheists and Satanists, we were
This is Sports Setup.
See you later, stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sincerely appreciate it.